Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
Everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another insane edition of Crime and Sports. We have fun, football, American football. Sorry, Gaza people, no more other football for a while here. So we got American football.
Field goals and shit.
Field goals, yeah, there is kicking involved, but different type of kicking here. So this is a fun one. This is a guy that we'll both remember growing up here.
Oh,
and,
great.
A little wide receiver. Not a hugely famous guy, but a guy that was around, and a guy whose son actually is a major star in the NFL,
Terrific.
or was for a long time. So we'll get into all that. Before we do, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Number one, there's merch all over the place there. Get your merch and get your tickets for live shows. Small Town Murder, they're all lined up. They're selling out fast, so get those tickets. And on February 22nd, the 420 virtual live show tickets go on sale. So get those, and we're excited for that show. Can't wait for that. And we're excited for all the live shows. Shutupandgivememurder.com. You definitely want Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
You do. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all of your bonus material. All you have to be is $5 a month or above. A cup of coffee, man. Cup of coffee. Get you everything. Whole back catalog. New ones every other week. This week is no different. What you're going to get this week for Crime and Sports. Oh, it's back by popular demand, and I love it so much.
What is
Personal ads.
Yeah.
We're going to go over classified ads. People looking for love in the newspaper.
Desperate people with no internet connection.
Yep, this is pre-internet connection, and then the sadder ones are post-internet connection, because you're like, why are you in the newspaper now? This is crazy.
Doing?
What is happening? There's other avenues for this. And then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about a very weird thing here. Not really murder, not really small town, but there's death. In New York City, there was a couple of brothers called the Collier brothers. They were these weird guys who never came out of their house and basically holed up in this big brown stone until they died, and they had to like cut pieces of the wall out to take them out, and found newspapers stacked to the ceiling. It's the craziest thing ever. Like what they were doing in there. They made like a maze of weird stuff. It's crazy.
Hoarders? But what?
One of them was dead for a long time.
Oh, my God.
It's real
Yeah, they didn't die
weird.
at the same time, right?
No, hoarders will let like cats or relatives just like die behind a pile of magazines and stay there. Well, that's my pile of people from 1975 through 79. Fluffy
That's my-
died on my
That's
brother.
my black cat's room.
Yeah, so we'll talk
My
about
tabbies
that.
are in the other.
It's so weird. That is patreon.com/crimeinsports. And you get a shout out at the end of the show, and where Jimmie will excitedly try to pronounce your name and probably screw it up. Who knows?
a party.
We'll
Yeah.
try. So that said, let's get into this. What a mess this guy is here. All right, let's get into it. Mark Ingram, do you remember him?
I believe so.
Wide receiver in the late 80s and 90s, all through the 90s. Miami, the Giants.
Okay.
He was on the Giants Super Bowl
With
team
an
in
H?
90. No H in his
No?
name at all. No,
None.
not.
There's no.
It's INGRAM.
R-A-M.
Ingram. Yeah. This is Mark Ingram Sr. because Mark
Okay.
Ingram Jr., let's be realistic here, was in the NFL for a while as well and is an excellent player. I mean, he was a
Doing fantastic.
huge star, giant star, and won the Heisman and all that. So we'll get into this. Mark Valentino Ingram.
Oh, what a great middle
That's
name.
it. Valentino is a fun name for a dude, for a black guy born in Rockford, Illinois in 1965. That's
Little Valentino.
Mark Valentino Ingram is awesome. I love it a lot. Who knows if that's a friend of his father's or, you know, you never know why people name their kids middle names. Middle names are like, first name is serious. We got to name them either something that you believe in, or people have like biblical, or it'll be like, I got to name him after my father who died in the war. Or, you know what I mean? There's always like something crazy. Last name, obviously, whatever. And then middle names, like, let's have some fun with it. Fuck it. Let's
Play
just.
fast and loose with the middle name.
Yeah. What's your favorite Star Wars character? We'll name him that. Who cares? Yeah.
Nobody will ever know. Somebody
Mark-
will go, "What's your middle name?" Then they'll go, "What?"
What? Mark Obi-Wan Ingram? What the fuck is that? That's weird. It's a weird name.
Old Chewy.
Yeah, or some weird ant that, you know, nobody even remembers. So he's born August 23rd, 1965 in Rockford, Illinois, and he grows up in this area, and not a lot actually on his early life here. Don't know too much about his early life, which that's fine because he gets into plenty of shit later on. He went to high school in Flint, Michigan, actually.
Oh no.
Yes, Flint Northwestern High School, and goes to high school in Flint, Michigan. He'll end up going to Michigan State. So he's a Michigan guy through and through here. Yeah. His father's name is Leon, and not Valentino. So we know that. No, he's an engineer with the Flint Board of Education.
What do they need engineers for?
I don't know. I don't know if he's, to design the actual room they meet in, maybe. I don't know. Fit a table that'll fit in there just right. Yeah. I don't know what an engineer would be needed for with the Board of Education, but whatever.
I can't get, unless he's like designing the curriculum for the mathematics department, maybe.
I don't know. It's the 60s, so who knows what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
We don't know. It could have been anything.
They're naming people Valentino, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, Valentino is a middle name. What are we talking about? His mother's name is Catherine.
Okay.
And he played high school football, Flint Northwestern, like I said. He played quarterback in high school.
Really?
He's a quarterback. He's only like a 5'10" guy. He's not a big guy at all. Those little kind of quicker receivers that were in vogue back in the day there.
Punt returners, yeah.
Yeah, the fun part is he was quarterback with Andre Rison as his running back.
Holy shit.
Ingram and Rison in the backfield of the same high school.
Team.
Which is pretty impressive. That's two first-round draft pick wide receivers worth of athletic ability in your backfield then. Not bad. So he ends up playing at Michigan State University, which is in East Lansing, Michigan, which is the big college closest to Flint, I believe. Right. So it's, that's if you're from that area, you know, that's kind of a big deal. So he goes there in 1983 is his first year at Michigan State that he is a part of anything. They are 4-6-1 back then.
Yikes.
Not a big powerhouse at the moment.
No,
very bad. Conference
not
record
even
2-6-1, so real bad.
Not even challenging Michigan.
No, not even in like the Uncle Ben's long grain rice bowl or something. Like not even the worst, some weird bowl. None of that even.
Because there's like a rivalry in state with the state and the uni, but not Jesus, here. That's a joke at that point. That's not even. At least we get to face them this year.
Hope we're good in basketball. That's what that is. That's what that means. So this year, Mark doesn't do much, only 4 receptions this year.
Oh, so he's playing wide receiver.
He's playing wide receiver. Yeah, they move him out there because he's very speedy and shit. So, I think he has, in 6 games, he has 4 receptions for 28 yards, which he's young, so they're easing him into the whole thing. And this team, I was reading an article about this. This team only threw the ball an average of 12 times, threw the ball an average of 12 times a game.
Per game.
Because it was an interview with the quarterback where he was like, because the next year they go 500, they're 6-6, and they're like, how do you feel about never throwing the ball? And he's like, I mean, we're playing better, so I can't complain about it. But of course, I'd like to throw the ball every down, obviously, but I can't.
So they ran more the next year?
It was the same thing. They're just the same offense. Right. So it was one of those things. Same coach, George Perlis, is their coach. So they're not a real. They're not the type of team where they seem like they're real dynamic to watch. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's certainly a predictable game plan.
Yeah, and there was a lot of colleges that used to play like that back then. That was
Jesus.
They'd either run the option 90% of the time, or like growing up in New York, we went to Army football games, and Army back then they had a good running back and nothing else because they're Army football. So top athletes aren't like, I'd like to be in the military for 5 years after. When my stock is highest to go into the NFL, I'd like to go into the Army for 5 years. That's what I'd like. It's a tough sell, you know what I mean?
Sure is, yeah.
So they would run the ball. They would throw the ball like 4 times a game. It was fucking maddening and mind-numbing to watch. Just this constant run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the. It was enough. So
maybe to the left, maybe to the right.
Oh, there we go.
We're definitely running it.
Running again. And then they'd be like, our running back had 151 yards this game. It's like, yeah, he had fucking 68 carries. What do you expect?
The total yards, you guys had 192. What are you talking about? Who cares?
Lord. Yeah. And the only times they'd throw would be like on an option, where it would be like half run and then they'd dump it off. So it wasn't like they were throwing it down the field or playing with anything like that. So 84, they go 6-6. Which still, they go to a bowl game, though. 6-6 is
right.
Yes, because Michigan State is a popular school.
Okay.
And that's how bowl games work. They're not, this isn't on merit. This is on, it's like stand-up comedy bookings.
Fucking watch.
Yeah.
Right,
it's not who's funny. It's who's got a better TikTok audience. That's all it is. So they go to the Cherry Bowl, which does not exist and doesn't seem to have existed for a long time that I can remember.
Where the hell was that at?
Beats the shit out of me. You know who they play? This is how low of a bowl this is. Army. God. They play Army, just what I told you.
What a boring day.
And they lose the Cherry Bowl to Army 10-6.
Ouch.
So
that is 3 field goals all day and
probably.
1 touchdown. Ugh.
Yeah. 1 touchdown and not a lot of passing because these are 2 teams that don't pass. I doubt they saw 20 passes the whole day for both teams combined, which is that's a lot. That's saying something here. They do have Lorenzo White on this team, who ended up in the NFL. And
Lorenzo White?
Yeah, Lorenzo White. He was a running back. He was a running back. I think he played for the
Chargers?
Oilers, I believe.
Oilers.
Yeah.
Lorenzo White. That's far. I would forget because of Lorenzen Wright. I will never remember that guy forever.
Lorenzen Vern Gagne Wright.
Yeah.
See what I mean about middle names? Let's just fuck around with this. Let's name him. Let's name him after Vern Gagne for his middle name.
Got a wrestling territory king's name.
What a weird thing to name a person. So this year, Mark plays in all 11 games, 21 receptions. For 479 yards and 4 touchdowns. The big thing is he's the deep threat they talk about.
Sounds like it. That's a lot of yards.
He averages 22.8 per reception, which is huge. He averages a quarter of the field every time he touches the ball. So
for every 10-yard pass, he catches a 30. My God.
If you run 10 times in a row, you tend to loosen up. They start coming forward. You get your man coverage on the outside.
And you got a deep threat. Bingo, bango.
That's it. There you go. Big
Ingram's
time.
got a career. You
big
bet.
Plays. So 85, they go 7-5. So they went from 5-6 to 6-6 to 7-5.
Eke out a few more wins here and there.
Well, yeah, this will get them a better bowl too.
Yeah.
This year they go to the Hall of Fame Classic. I don't know. That was replaced by like a weed whacker bowl or like a bug killer bowl of some kind.
A Roundup Bowl.
The Totino's Pizza Roll Bowl. I don't know what the fuck's going on here, but they have all this shit. The Hall of Fame Classic, they lose this one as well to Georgia Tech, 17-14.
They can't win.
They're not a real big powerhouse here.
No.
And again, you look at their lineup, Andre Rison's on the team now.
Okay.
They recruited him in, so that's good. So now you have Ingram and Rison as your deep threats.
Who went to college or high school together, so that's great.
They know each other, and they're happy with each other, so that's nice here. They're doing very well. I guess they are individually. There's an article from Halloween Day, October 31st, 1985, and it's from the Detroit Free Press, and the headline is, Spartans find Mark Ingram very receptive. Hardy fucking hard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's terrific. They said, here's what it says. This is pathetic. Thump, 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 splat, 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 oops, smash. No big deal. Mark Ingram has just broken another glass with his ever-present rubber ball.
What? Okay.
Apparently, he bounces this rubber ball like Rocky in the first Rocky. Like he just walks around bouncing a rubber ball and breaks shit with it.
Okay.
And he said, quote, I carry it around all the time and keep bouncing it off the walls. I throw it and catch it to keep my reflexes and hands sharp. Sometimes I throw it so it'll ricochet and bounce back at odd angles.
Like a Super Bowl from like a
racquetball.
Okay.
He's always bouncing it that way. It'll bounce back, and he's got to react to it and grab it with his hands. And I guess as a receiver,
and he
that's
breaks
helpful.
shit.
Mm-hmm. And then he's always breaking shit too. Yeah. They said that he's always doing that. He's always following the bouncing ball down hallways and dorms, through the corridors of the Daughtry football building, sometimes to an excess.
Okay.
He says, oh, yeah, people tell me to quit quite a bit, and I've broken a couple of glasses and some pop bottles with the ball. But he said this is what keeps him, this is what keeps him going. Mm-hmm. Said that's what it is. His coach said he's an underrated player. He's the reason we throw long last year and this year. So that's Mark is the shit. They talk about how he's the big deep threat. He says, I was a quarterback in junior high and high school, so I know what a quarterback goes through. I know I make Dave's job easier by getting open and catching the ball. He's running a 4.35 40 at this point, too.
Holy.
Which is fucking fast.
Yeah.
Even in this league today, they would be like,
that's
all right,
impressive.
Take a look at him. He's not a big guy, but he said, I can run 4.4 every time, but when I see the ball in the air, I seem to find another gear. I also treasure the end-around play. We don't see the ball often, so I try to make something happen when I do get it.
Yeah.
Any kind of trick play there, you can do the end-around where a receiver gets to run with the ball. And yeah, so they said his coach said he doesn't like mistakes or having people not going 100%. He tells them about it in a private manner. He said he's our enforcer. That's what the coach said.
Aside,
yeah, he's 5'10", and he's the enforcer.
Okay.
Yeah, Ingram said one game, we were down 10 points and some guys were getting down. I reminded them we still had more than a quarter to play. I won't tell you exactly what I said. I think I can guess probably. And
probably told them, play harder. Yeah.
Play harder, you pussy fucks. That's probably had it in there somewhere. He said, I always wanted to be a Spartan. I enjoyed the campus and the people, plus I knew Darryl Turner, Carl Banks, and Lonnie Young. So he said, when I first came here, I was inexperienced as a wide receiver. Darryl showed me a lot of things. I'm trying to teach Andre the same things.
Yeah.
You know what? You did, because Andre also had an episode of Crime in Sports. So whatever you taught him, you both ended up not only in the same high school backfield, the same wide receiving core in college, but also on the same fucking show about dipshits. So good job. Let's all give them a round of applause, everybody. That's great. That's fucking amazing. He said that there's some advantage in it not being a passing team. With Lorenzo, meaning Lorenzo White, sometimes people don't respect our passing game. That's better for our receivers. The defensive backs have a tendency to go to sleep. Yeah, that's why you run the ball a lot to open up the receiving. So that year he played in 11 games and had 31 receptions for 675 yards and 3 touchdowns as well. And that's 21.8 per reception. So he's still killing it. If they pass more, he'd have as big a numbers as anybody.
Sure, yeah.
But they just don't pass a lot. 86, Michigan State, 6-5 that year. Back to that. No bowl game that year either. So
Good.
That's not great. Good. You don't deserve a fucking bowl
No.
game. You barely 500 assholes. So that year, 35 receptions, 672 yards, 5 touchdowns. The fact that he doesn't get a lot of balls thrown at him is intriguing to scouts, too. It's one of those things where...
Really?
Because they're like,
what
oh,
if?
man, what would his numbers be if he was on a team that throws a lot?
Yeah.
Holy shit, because there were some offenses that threw a lot coming up in this time, and so they're like, oh, man, they start... this is like, it's almost like he's this rough diamond that just needs to be polished and put on display.
A little rough gem.
Yeah. So for the at the combine, he's 5'10" and 5/8 inches tall.
Yeah.
188 pounds. 5'10". Yeah, almost 5'11". He's more than halfway to 5'11", though.
He's still 5'10".
More than 5'10" and a half. This is coming from a guy who says he's 5'8". So,
well, I am,
and
they don't
has
get
documentation claiming to be 5'9". So
I don't know why they did that to me.
Okay.
I didn't ask for that.
I didn't ask for that. That's fucking great.
I don't need them. I don't need them lying for me.
Hey, don't lie here on actual fucking documents.
Actual credentials that are legal. Like that is a document that I could say, you're goddamn right I am. The government says so.
Well, maybe that'll get you out of trouble someday when you do something. Someone will be like, a guy was about 5'7", and you'll be like, well, I'm 5'9", so
clearly.
I don't know anything about that.
Obviously, it says so right here.
I don't know nothing about it. His 40 time here, 4.42 seconds. So 4.40 is just fine. That's great. Nobody's worried about that. 32-inch vertical jump. So not bad.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. So the draft comes around April 28th, 1987. 87, by the way, will be the strike year. So it's how Suge Knight ended up playing in the NFL and
right.
shit like that. So
5'10" or 5'8", it doesn't matter when you've got a near 3-foot vertical.
That's not bad.
Holy
32
fuck.
Isn't that fantastic?
It's not?
Good. I mean, for like a guy who works at Walmart, it's pretty good. But for like an NBA player, that would be pretty not great.
That'd be
You know what
average,
I mean?
yeah?
That'd be that would be not great.
An NFL player doesn't jump that high generally, right?
The receivers do a lot. So you'll get
Do
receivers now that have, Jesus, Randy Moss had like a 40-inch vertical
Yeah,
jump.
but
and
he's
he was
a
6'4".
fucking freak.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's good. It's not bad at all. 32
Yeah.
inches is still very good, but it's
That's
not like
incredible.
that didn't make anybody go, oh, shit, he really gets up. You know what I
Really?
mean? That's like, oh, yeah, that's pretty average for that. 'Cause
guy
he's only
that-
5'10".
He can almost dunk, right?
Yeah, maybe. That seems like you'd be close to it anyway, depending
With,
on how
I
long
guess
your arms are.
1.5 feet for an arm?
I guess.
Above the head, I guess. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
like
'cause you
6-8
gotta-
inches
yeah.
before,
Your elbow would be at the top of your head about.
It's about another 1.5 feet. Maybe it's got to be fucking close.
Well, maybe. I don't know. So, 87 draft. Who was the MVP, by the way, the year in 87, Jimmy?
87? Was it was it Thomas or Taylor, I mean?
It's John Elway, Jimmy.
In 87 was it?
87, John Elway.
No shit.
Yeah, 87, John Elway there. The offensive player of the year was Jerry Rice. Defensive player of the year, Reggie White.
How'd that work out for John?
They lost to the Redskins in the Super Bowl.
Not great.
Passing leader that year, I'll give you 100 guesses who led the league in passing yardage, and you'd never get it. And when I tell you, it'll be shocking.
Is it the Atlanta? Was it an Oilers quarterback or some shit?
No, Neil Lomax. Remember him, the Cardinals quarterback? Yeah, it was Neil.
He was the
Lomax.
passing leader?
3,387 yards. Because also, he didn't play for 5 games because of the strike. So
okay.
Nobody played. So the whole season was kind of weird. He might have played. He might have crossed the line earlier, too, and got more yards because that's kind of how it worked. Number 1 pick in the draft, 87, Jimmie Whisman.
Oh, boy. 87.
87 draft.
I got a goddamn clue.
Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, God.
Yep. Vinny Testaverde going to Tampa.
That guy was a number 1 pick.
Overall, yeah. Huge.
Wow.
Huge. Big time. Go up from Miami. They were big time college powerhouse.
Incredible.
He was considered great at the time. Cornelius Bennett, number 2, the great Buffalo Bill linebacker. He was really good. Alonzo Highsmith, Brent Fullwood, a couple of average running backs there. Kelly Stouffer's the next quarterback picked at number 6.
Is that right?
Kelly Stouffer. You might have remembered him from Chris Berman puns.
Oh, okay.
Talking about Stouffer's lasagna.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you have the same immediate comic reaction as Chris Berman in 1989. 35 years ago, fucking Chris Berman.
Rumbling, stumbling. Because there's never been anything
edge,
as famous as that's been a Stouffer. There's no other Stouffer that matters as much as lasagna.
As much as the lasagna and whatever else they produce.
The divorced father meal. That's embarrassing.
That's a frozen lasagna. Somebody tried to recruit me to a multi-level marketing one time by feeding me frozen lasagna.
Stop it.
I swear to God. They took my ex-wife and I when we were younger, first married. I think my wife was pregnant with our first child, so it was that long ago, and these people were church people that were like into this, and it's a friend of mine that became a church person, and they invited us over just to hang out. And we were like, all right, fine, we'll go be nice. And then it was a whole big thing to get us to sell like detergent and shit that they had pallets of in their garage, and like weird energy drinks that before that was a big deal, and
knockoff shit,
all this weird shit. And they're like, you should do that. And I'm like, I don't have any fucking money, so you're barking up the wrong tree. But you thought lasagna? You thought Stouffer's frozen lasagna was going to steal the deal?
That was going to get me.
But that was their sale. Like, what can we do? Well, he's Italian. Maybe we can... I know how we can do it. We'll give him frozen lasagna, and then he'll be putty in our hands.
I can't make lasagna.
No. He'll be putty in our hands.
I don't know what else he eats.
Lasagna. And Wonder Bread to dip in.
Did it have butter and at least garlic powder on it?
No, it was a frozen lasagna. They took it out of the oven and put it on the fucking table. Poof. Took the film off it, popped it in, took it out. Pow. There you go.
And then took the twisty tie off the Wonder Bread. And
that was it.
In.
Put a couple of slices out, and it was like, there we go. Would you like to be in business with us in a highly unprofitable adventure here where you give us some of your money for some reason? Nope. I think I'm okay on that. Thank you very much.
See how we eat? You could eat this way, too.
Ooh, look at this, huh? A patio home on the west side in Glendale and fucking frozen lasagna with Wonder Bread. Huh? Who doesn't want to live like this?
We're
like a fucking around king. Here. A patio home by ASU West is where it was. Fuck out of here.
You too, James. For a little bit of your money, you could live like this.
I could eat terrible lasagna also? Sweet.
Oh, man.
Holy shit. So let's see. Shane Conlon in this draft. Jerome Brown, the Philadelphia Eagle who died. Remember him?
No.
He died in the early 90s. He was active when he died.
What
defensive tackle.
Was it during practice and he keeled over?
I don't remember if it was a car accident. It was a car accident. Jerome Brown. Yeah. Number 10, Hall of Famer Rod Woodson. So
fantastic.
Instead of Kelly Stouffer or Brent Fullwood, you could have had one of the best fucking cornerbacks that ever lived. Yeah. They said Jerry Rice said they said rank cornerbacks that were good against you, and he goes, "Well, there's only two that I even thought about. Everybody else just do whatever you want to." He said, literally, just do whatever you want to anybody. He goes, except for Dion and Rod Woodson. He goes, everybody else is, and he goes, and Charles Woodson later on, he said was good too. Right. Everybody else sucked.
There's Rod, Dion, and everybody else.
Yeah.
That's it.
He said, everybody else, you just do it whatever you want to them. It wasn't even a thought of who was over there. It didn't matter. Just fucking body in a uniform that I'm going to shit on here.
What an enjoyable way to live your life.
God, to be that good at something
when you're
talented. That. Yeah.
Must be great.
Number 26 overall, speaking of the state of Michigan, Jim Harbaugh from the Bears to the Bears at quarterback there from Michigan. And then the last, Denver, by the way, picked up Ricky Nattiel that year.
Okay.
I know you remember him, the little wide receiver for Denver.
Big fan.
Number 28, last pick of the first round, the New York Giants select Mark Ingram as wide receiver. Yep. See, the world champion New York Giants, too. They were they won the championship the year before, so they get the last pick. They pick him, and they could use a little pop in the passing game, the Giants. They were not weren't a real down-the-field type of team. No, that was beating the Broncos that year.
Oh,
yeah. I remember that. After that, though, second round here, this not a real stocked draft when it comes to Hall of Famers. In the first two rounds, there's one Hall of Famer.
Just Rod.
And that's Rod Woodson. Yeah, everybody else, you got guys like Nate Odoms and guys
not
like
bad.
that. Good players that were around a long time, but not like, holy shit, that guy That guy's phenomenal. Mark Carrier, the wide receiver, not the very good cornerback or safety. So he's drafted. He's in the first round. Honestly, going at the end of the first round could be worse. I mean, you go earlier and you get better money, but you go to a terrible team.
Sure, yeah.
Vinny Testaverde is getting a lot of money, but he's going to get the shit beaten out of him and win like 6 games in the next 5 years. So
he was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them, or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, not a lot of fun.
They're gonna make him pray to play in Cleveland, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, to play in Cleveland and everywhere else he ends up. The Jets. He's gonna think the Jets are a good decision after that.
It's better than Tampa.
Yeah. And then also there's not a lot of pressure on you're coming into a world championship team. So they're not expecting you to, our first round pick. Testaverde's expected to turn a franchise around.
Right.
We're
at the top. We're at the pinnacle. Yeah.
This guy's expected to run a pretty decent, down the field route on third downs. Yeah. That's pretty much be a pretty good slot guy. That's really all they're expecting out of him.
Just don't cost us that game against the Cowboys later this year.
If we throw it to you, don't fucking drop it, please.
There it is. That's it.
And Ingram, if I'm not mistaken, I'm 99% sure that he put together one of the best first down getting plays I've ever seen in the Super Bowl against the Bills.
Oh.
He caught a ball short of the first down by, I think it was like a, 3rd and 12, and he caught it 6 yards down the field did this twisting, turning, somehow got to the first down thing that saved the game for the Giants. Very underrated play, and I'm 99% sure that's what happened. So there he is. He's sitting on top of the world.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
number
grace.
one.
That's grace. Yeah.
He's going to play in the Super Bowl, and this is grace.
This is definitely grace because at this point, we're pretty much like a week after the draft, we hear about some shit that he did in 1985.
What did you do?
And the headline of this article is Mark Ingram, Giants top pick, gets a grip on his life. That's not good.
No.
That's bad here. They said, at the time, he recalled it seemed like a harmless thing to do. Well, I'm intrigued.
What was it?
But after 24 days in a Michigan jail, Mark Ingram realized he had made the biggest mistake of his life. Yeah.
What was it?
That's not great. 2 years ago, the Michigan State wide receiver walked into an unlocked campus dormitory room and stole a wallet containing $5 and a credit card.
That seemed like a good thing to do?
That seemed like a harmless thing to do. Burglary seems harmless. Yeah, that's normal.
I walked into an unlocked room and pilfered things.
Hey, everybody, if you're about to commit burglary because you think it feels like a harmless thing to do, don't fucking do it because it's not harmless. You'll be sitting in a jail for 24 days going, what?
24
What I do that
days.
for $5 and a credit card. This is when he was a junior, by the way.
Yeah.
He was caught, though, probably using the credit card, and was sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, 90 days in jail he got for that.
Holy, he must have used the credit card.
Yeah, he had to have used the credit card. $5 isn't going to cut it.
No.
You know, that's not. He could have got Patreon, but instead he's going to jail. That's how it works here.
Could have heard the story.
Could have heard some fun shit. Ingram said, quote, I'm not glad it happened. Well, no shit, you're not glad it happened.
I bet you don't even care that it happened. I bet you're not glad you got caught.
No, well, lucky for him, he had another year to play football to make everyone forget about it. Because if that happened, after his senior year, that would have been tough on the draft. He said, it made me mature a lot. If there's a silver lining, it's that I learned my lesson.
There it is.
I want to tell you also, he absolutely did not learn his lesson.
No?
No. Everything
Still got a
he
penchant
does
for burglary?
Everything he does has like a whiff and a stink of this exact bullshit behind it. He's a moron. A lot of stealing out in the open and shit like that. He's an idiot. So he was convicted of breaking and entering. His sentence was reduced to 30 days in jail and 3 years probation after he agreed to pay $20 restitution to the victim.
He took a credit card for $20.
$20. He filled his tank up with gas.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah, and that was that.
Idiot.
And then he's going to jail for that.
20 on 2, please.
Wow. He can't leave this. He couldn't leave the state of Michigan without permission, and also to graduate, he was doing that. And Ingram was given a jail term because he was on larceny probation from a previous incident that they don't have documentation of.
Wow.
Yes. So the details were not available of that incident. After serving 24 days at the Ingham, I guess, County Prison in Mason, Michigan, they permitted him to return to school. And the coach said, this is his coach, George Perlis, hair turning silver as he speaks.
Right.
He's like, 22 yards a catch. I don't give a fuck. I'll give that kid $20. I don't care.
Good kid, yeah.
Whatever. Quote, it was a dorm room. It was unlocked. He took it and he paid dearly for it. He admitted it. He said he was sorry. He didn't hide anything.
We end it.
We end it right there. That's it. He's a good guy. Shit happens. Kids do dumb things. So they said that Carl Banks, who was his teammate at Michigan State and was a great linebacker for the Giants, it was Banks and LT were nasty back in the day. He said that he's going to keep a close eye on Ingram while he's in New York.
Oh.
Don't you worry about it. He said, quote,
I'm going to keep a close eye on them in the biggest city in America.
Now that we're going to give him like $1 million and let him loose in the biggest city in America where everything's open 24 hours a day.
I got him.
And he's on the world champion New York Giants. I can't imagine he'd get in any trouble. Yeah. You know what? All the linebackers will take it. LT will take him out at night. That'll keep him out of trouble. Are you kidding
we got
me?
way worse guys here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's insane. He said, Mark will go crazy if he's locked up at home. He's active, and I have to show him some things.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to party, and if he's going to party, he might as well do it with me, I guess he's saying, and not just out doing shit. He's not a big hellraiser. He's a kid. I think he'll do well with me cracking the whip. If he gets out of line, I'll tell his mother on him.
Oh.
That's what he said, yeah.
He thinks his mom matters?
I guess so. They actually went to his mother, Catherine, after her arrest, and she declined comment.
After her arrest?
After his arrest.
Oh, okay.
Declined comment.
Jesus, God.
Leon, the father, though, said that the incident brought the family together.
Oh, well, then thank God.
Why would? Well, that's actually what he does next. He actually does thank God. Quote, we're a very religious family. I think it made Mark grow. We knew the Lord would work things out. We had a lot of faith.
Thank God.
So they actually did.
Thank God for larceny.
Thank God for that person's invasion of their space and privacy.
And credit card fraud.
Holy shit. The Giants say they have faith that Ingram can bolster their receiving core, so they don't really give a shit, honestly. Because their leading receiver the last year was Mark Bavaro, who's a tight end, who shouldn't be your leading receiver. Nowadays, maybe, but back then, tight ends weren't your leading receiver.
That's meant, generally your dump-off guy because everybody else was covered. Right.
That meant you're going over the middle because your receivers can't get any any
they can't get any
separation.
Yeah. Right.
And Bavaro, there could be 3 guys on him over the middle. They dump it off and they bounce off him.
Yeah.
He was just
giant
fucking guinea, scary bastard. He's the guy that Parcells said he was afraid of. When he was a rookie, he goes, "See that Bavaro guy?" He goes, "Wouldn't want to run into him in an alley, huh? Jesus Christ, he's a stone-faced son of a bitch, isn't he?" He's like, "That fucking guy is tough," but still shouldn't be leading the team in receiving. Right. The leading receiver the year before for the team, leading wide receiver, had 534 yards.
Wow.
Yeah, the Giants were not great going down the field. They really weren't. Mark said, "I'm just looking to make a contribution." That's it. So Parcells said he's got good speed. He's elusive. He's run some pretty good track times this spring. I hope he can help us out there.
No doubt.
That's all. So July 31st, 87. He's ready to play, ready to practice. He's got his contract all signed, and he says that he hopes he has better luck catching passes than checking his luggage. It's a little luggage problem.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Yeah, his luggage, he flew from Michigan to Newark, and none of his luggage showed up.
Oh.
So, yeah, he showed up. He's got nothing. He said, "I checked 4 bags, and I had to go back to the airport to get them the next day."
Not one of them showed up.
Nothing showed up. Not one of his 4 bags. They all went somewhere else. He signed a 4-year, $1.25 million deal, which was good for an end-of-the-first-round wide receiver back then. And he didn't show up at training camp Thursday morning. Didn't tell anybody why. Didn't tell Parcells. It's the first day of training camp or second day or something.
It's your first day of your job.
And yes, so nobody knew where he was. But Ingram, I guess his bags were mixed up, and that's what he had to do. He had to go to the airport to get all of his shit. But he should have made a phone call.
Yeah,
he only got 3 of them Thursday.
Oh.
The problem is the 4th one is the one with his cleats and his football shit in it.
Oh, Christ.
So they couldn't find that one. So that
you have to bring your own cleats when you play for the New York Football Giants.
You don't have to, but your practice cleats, guys have practice cleats they like that are broken in a certain way, and because they're it's hot out there, they're running around. He said, "I had to get a new pair for practice." He was waiting at the airport for 4 hours while they looked for his bags.
Where are they looking?
Imagine, first of all, when someone loses your bags, it's fucking enraging.
It's frustrating.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now imagine sitting at the Newark airport for 4 hours while people incompetently try to find your shit, and you know that Bill Parcells is getting madder by the minute. You know it. You know he's getting pissed off, and you get there, you're like, "Oh, fuck, he's going to give it to me bad. This is, he's going to have Carl Banks clothesline me. This is terrible."
He could have made it to L.A. in that amount of time, for Christ's sake.
Oh, he could have flown back and forth to Michigan again. It's ridiculous here. So they said that he looked good looked good out there. They said they expect big things. Mark said, quote, "I want to start. I have some things I want to prove. I want to prove I can play in this league." Yeah.
He wants to start? Is that insulting as your first day there? Doesn't you know what I mean? You haven't even fit in yet. And you're telling somebody you're going to take your job?
At the same time, you wouldn't want that from an offensive tackle, I feel like.
No.
But from a wide receiver, they're a different breed, and they have to live a different.
You have to say that.
You want that out of your wide receiver. You want him to go, "I'm the fastest, baddest motherfucker in this fucking world." That's how wide receivers have to be. It's just
you're coming into the practice facility of the guys that just did it all. You know what I mean?
No, it's true. But they're
all these guys are
core,
champions. By the way, I'm taking your jobs.
No one has 600 yards in that receiving core. So at that point, you go,
Yeah.
everyone says that's the only weak spot on the team. So it's like, well, I'd like to start because fuck this place. Yeah.
And I did have 600 yards last year, and we didn't throw it hardly at all either.
Yeah. And if you're like Parcells, you go, well, yeah, what are you going to say? I want to ride the bench. I want a guy who wants to start.
I'd really like to sit and watch.
Yeah. You want all your guys to want to start, ideally.
Yeah.
You don't want some guy who's going, "I'm making an easy paycheck here." That's not the guy you want on the team.
I'm just a big fan, and I started playing football so that I could get the best view of the game.
And they give me free shirts. It's pretty cool.
Free shirt. All the Gatorade I can drink.
It's as much as I want. And if we win, I can pour it on the coach. It's great. So 86 Giants, by the way, invented that, the Gatorade dump.
Is that right?
Carl Banks was the guy who...
He invented it?
Carl Banks was the guy who did it first. Yeah, he's the guy who started dumping it on Parcells over the season. Then Parcells started looking for it, so they'd have to hide him, and he'd come up and sneak up on him. It was because it was the only time Parcells couldn't get mad because they just won. So he'd have to be like, you fucking assholes. It's 12 degrees and you just dumped ice cold Gatorade on me, but thanks. Yeah, we won. Great.
Yeah. I got Gatorade frozen to my armpit hair. Thank you.
They still do it, and that's where it came from. The 86 Giants did that.
And a lot of coaches still try to evade it. And
You're
not getting away.
Just take it. They used to do it back in the day. They'd get like the big coats, and like someone would hold it up, and Carl Banks would walk behind it like a curtain. And then the guys would like move the coat and he'd pop out and dump it on Parcells at the last second. Like they really got theatric about it over the course of the season. It was fun. I'm sure there's a super cut on YouTube of it. It's fucking
Gatorade
hilarious.
tap.
Yeah. So Ingram says, right now I'm not concerned about the competition. I'm concerned about Mark Ingram. He's already in the third person. He's already Ricky Henderson. He hasn't played a snap in the NFL. No, he's not even born yet, I don't think so. Possibly not. He said, if I put everything together, I know I can play in this league.
Okay.
Sometime around this time, not sure exactly when, he gets married to a woman named Shonda.
Yeah.
So he'll marry her. So 87, the Giants, coming off a Super Bowl winning season of one of the best defenses of all time. They were nasty shit. They go 6-9 this year.
Oh, no.
The strike also fucked everything up for all sorts of shit. So
it must have made players leave, right? Because of the contracts?
Just guys came in at different times, and then there was, guys that they hadn't been playing, and then they were just they went from sitting on their couch for the last 8 months to playing in an NFL game. Some of the teams had guys that came back earlier, so they were more together, and it was a totally just a big mess. The 87 season. This is 6-9 under Bill Parcells, Phil Simms at quarterback, LT on the team, all that kind of shit. Mark, we'll find out here, doesn't play that much. He only plays in 9 games, doesn't start any, has 2 receptions for 32 yards. So, not exactly setting the world on fire.
No, he didn't impress anybody.
In year one. 1988 Giants, they go 10-6. They're a decent team here. Not too bad, but not really great. That was the year I believe they lost to the Rams in the playoffs, if I'm thinking here. Same team here. They kept this team together for a long time. This year he starts 4 games, only plays in 7, though. Starts for 13 receptions for 158 yards and 1 touchdown.
Okay.
Not exactly, again, the center of the offense here, I would say.
Not good at all.
89, 12-4 the Giants go.
There you go.
And this is when they lost to the Rams. I'm sorry. They lost to the Rams 19-13 in the playoff. And that was, I believe, a bullshit pass interference call on Mark Collins, I want to say, over the middle. Yes, I believe that was the...
Jim Everett?
Jim Everett, yeah. Fucking Jim Everett. Yeah, he sucked. He really sucked, man.
Yeah.
So that year, December 21st, 1989, his son is born.
That's it.
Mark Ingram Jr.
Yeah.
And he can call himself 2. He's a fucking junior. Shut up. Junior.
Is he Valentino? That's a junior.
It's got to be. He's Mark Ingram fucking 2.
Second, yeah.
That's a junior. Yeah. He's born in not New Hackensack, just Hackensack, New Jersey.
Okay.
And his mother is his wife. So not the son's wife. Yeah, it's Shonda.
It's Shonda.
He didn't marry his birth mother. That would have been weird.
Yeah.
So he plays in all 16 games this year, only starts 3, 17 receptions, 290 yards, 1 touchdown, 17.1 per reception, though. So he's the deep threat.
Good. Yeah.
He is the deep threat. 1990 Giants, this was a fun season. They go 13-3 this year.
Golly.
And I remember their losses because they lost to San Francisco on Monday night when both teams were 10-0 coming into the game.
Wow.
That was cool.
That's a fun Monday night game.
And they lost 7-6. That was the fucking...
Oh, golly.
That was the game. Yeah, Phil Simms got in a fight with Ronnie Lott after the last play of the game. It was fun. And they lost to the Bills later on, I believe, too. So they go 13-3. That's when Phil Simms got hurt and Jeff Hostetler came in. Beat the Bears in the divisional round 31-3. The championship game against the Niners, probably one of the best games I've ever seen in my life there. Yeah. That was the one where Leonard Marshall exploded Joe Montana. and knocked him out for 2 years.
Forever.
And then he came back on the Chiefs. That's how bad he knocked him.
He relocated him halfway
to the
across
Midwest. He knocked him into the Midwest. That was pretty impressive.
Gave him a taste for barbecue is what he did.
Yep. But that was 15-13, last-second kick for the Giants. It was fucking beautiful. And then they beat the Bills in maybe one of the other better games I've ever seen in my life, 2019. And I believe that was the big play for Mark Ingram where he really stretched a play out into a first down that saved the game, honestly. There's a bunch of plays like that. In a 2019 game, you're going to get...
Every play is fucking very important.
Yeah, there's a lot of plays that are super fucking important. He starts all 3 playoff games that season, by the way.
Really?
And has 11 receptions for 168 yards in the playoffs. So
Not bad.
Parcells trusted him somehow here in the playoffs. That year, he started 14 out of 16 games in the regular season, 26 receptions, 499 yards, 5 touchdowns, 19.2 per reception.
And Super Bowl champion.
And a Super Bowl champion. So now he's got a ring. He's feeling good.
Yeah.
Everything's great. Yeah, it's in the Super Bowl, it was him that caught it. It was on 3rd and 13. And Carl Banks said, we got him the ball in the open field, and he just went back to the sandlot in Flint, Michigan. That's what happened here.
Well,
it was
okay.
It was 3rd and 13 from the Buffalo 32, and the score was 12-10 Bills at that point.
So they needed this.
They needed it bad. Hostetler completed a short pass to Ingram, who had to get like another fucking 10 yards or 8 yards out of this.
Hostetler did him no favors is basically what happened. And he
just dumped it to him.
Yeah.
Shit, this is all I got.
Do something.
Yeah, please. He broke a tackle, then spun. Guy had him locked up. It was like, oh, he's dead, and he just spun, and he was free. It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. That was short of the 20. Then he faked a guy out, did a juke, and then got wrapped up and spun free again. And then somehow, while a guy was tackling him, squirted forward and stretched for the first down. It was honestly like in a movie. Like, you'd be like, oh, come on, that guy would attack.
That would never happen.
Yeah, he's not going to bounce off those things over the course of a game, but not on one play, a guy doing all this shit. It really looked scripted. It was fucking incredible. So it made it possible for them to get to go and score a touchdown that put them ahead, that saved the game. So 1991, no more Bill Parcells. They bring in this drip named Ray Hanley, who was just a big sack of turds. He looked
there
like
was a there was an interim coach in between Parcells and who was next?
Dan Reeves after this, you're thinking of.
Reeves, that's it.
Reeves came in after. Hanley's a huge failure. Like, you know at Dairy Queen, they put soft serve ice cream in and it just comes in, it piles up and then it's a little turd thing, little swirly on top. That's this man with shit. He's a cone of soft serve shit that's got a little swirly do on top.
Well, where the hell did he come from? Because they didn't just hire the crossing guard as head coach. Where was he? Was he the offensive coordinator?
No, he was a coordinator other places. He was around. He's a coach, but they decided to give him a shot. He's a different kind of coach than Parcells too. I mean, the guy's got a little burned out of being yelled at, but Parcells quit. He retired.
Yeah,
went out on top. So they go 8-8 that year and don't go to the playoffs. So,
ouch.
Yeah, and also Belichick left and all that kind of shit too. He went to Cleveland and everything like that. So this year, too, they were fucking with Phil Simms. Their quarterback situation was weird. Mark starts 13 games, plays in all 16. Career-high 51 receptions for 824 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
Every year of his career, he's had more receptions and yards than the year before. So he's doing okay, but he's not setting the world on fire. But then again, he's a guy, when he can leave the Giants, they're going to be interested in him because none of the receivers do well in this offense.
Yeah.
It's a running offense. It's just a ball control offense.
And he's probably the 3 receiver also, or 4th. He's not number 1.
Yeah, he's in the top 2, I think, because it was like Stephen Baker, I think, was there, and he was big on them. And then they got who'd they get from the Broncos? They get Mark Clayton around this time too, I believe. Or not from the Broncos, from the Dolphins. I believe they picked somebody up. So 92 Giants, 6-10 that year. Mm-hmm. Again, just, it's all about Ray Hanley.
For a while.
Yeah, Ray Hanley's a mess, and this was a boring team to watch too. Not fun at all. So this year he plays in 12 games, starts all 12, had 27 receptions for 408 yards. So going down a little bit. And the next year he's going to end up in Miami. So 93, finally, you've had this mess with Phil Simms and Hostetler and this ball control offense, and now you're going to go down to Miami.
Out of the Marino.
Yeah, out of the wind of the Meadowlands, too. That's why it's bad for passing at the Meadowlands, because it's windy as fuck there, and they swirl. Balls get knocked around. And at that stadium, too, the way the drainage went, the middle of the field was much higher than the sides of the field.
Okay.
So if you rolled right as a quarterback and looked left, and you had a 5'10" receiver, you'd only see his head because there was a big mound between you.
The field is like a fucking road.
Yeah, it's not meant for a great passing offense to take place there.
Slanted shoulders.
Yeah, it's tough. 93, though, you go down to Miami. You got the warm weather. Dan Marino tossing it around.
Beaches. Oh, boy.
Now you're on to something. They go 9-7 that year and miss the playoffs, though. Mm-hmm. But still, you're on. It's got to be a decent life down there for you.
Hell
I would say. Not bad. I think Dave. Oh no, that was Dave, different guy. I was going to say, is Dave Meggett on this team? But it was a guy named Dave Merritt, so different guy. 93, he starts all 16 games for the first time in his career. Yeah. Has 44 receptions for 707 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Wow.
So it does much better with Dan Marino throwing him the ball. Shocker. Next year they go 10-6 for winning the division. They beat the Chiefs in the wild card round.
Yeah.
I believe that's the end of Joe Montana's career. I think that might be. I think he played to 94.
And Derek Thomas is about to die?
He dies in like 99, I believe.
Okay.
Derek
So
Thomas,
he's got
98. Yeah, he's got a few more years left before he'll perish in a terrible car accident. Tragically,
horrible way to die. Jesus Christ,
that was bad.
That's crazy that he could die at all. He was so big and so powerful.
I remember that came on the news. I was like, that's weird.
Is that right?
Yeah, Derek Thomas. That's
how big was the car that hit him, for Christ's sake?
That's what I mean.
That's a
he
big man.
Jesus, wow. How the hell did he do that? That's weird. I remember thinking, was that intentional? Did he do that on purpose? Like,
how does that guy die?
Yeah, it's strange. So they lose to the Chargers 21-22 in the next round of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So that's how that goes. He's doing okay. In a game against the Jets, he caught 4 touchdown passes. Ingram does.
Is that right?
In one game, yeah, which is pretty impressive.
That can't have been done many times in the NFL at that point.
No, 4 TD catches in one game?
Yeah, that's a lot.
This is a famous game. The biggest of these catches was the game-winning touchdown because it was a high-scoring game.
Sure.
This was the famous Dan Marino pretending to spike the ball and then throwing it for a touchdown.
Then flipping it, yeah.
The famous fake spike that's like they play it all the time. Anytime it's an end of a game, they play it. But he's the guy who caught the touchdown pass off of him, off the Jets there. So that was a fun play. So a lot of good shit here. He says, Marino said it was one of the most satisfying wins he has ever had in his life. So that's trickery. Yeah, why not? In 1994, he made $1.2 million as well.
Wow.
Not too shabby. Had 6 touchdowns over the course of the regular season, 506 yards. Same exact amount of receptions as the year before, 44. Okay. March 21st, 1995, traded by the Dolphins to the Green Bay Packers.
Really?
For a 4th-round pick. So not too much there. So he goes to the Packers.
He's going to do it again, isn't he?
He's going to go on another team here. Well, we'll find out if he gets there.
Okay.
The 95 Packers almost make the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If you remember, they beat the Falcons in the wild card round. They went 11-5 in the regular season. Beat the Niners 27-17.
Wow.
And then and they were the Super Bowl champs from the year before. And then lose in the conference championship 38-27 to Dallas, which fuck them. Yeah. They went on to beat Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl out in Phoenix there.
In Arizona,
At ASU there, Sun Devil Stadium.
Yikes. Oh, fuck. And ew.
Imagine
the reward is to play there?
Well, the worst thing, imagine paying like $3,000 to sit on a metal fucking bleacher bench. I'd be livid. Fucking livid. I don't even get a chair for $3,000. This guy's touching me next to me. His fat hip is fucking touching me.
Some fuck from North Carolina sat in those bleachers was like, this is the Super Bowl?
This man's sweat is on my shirt. I paid $3,000 for this.
Unbelievable.
I would lose my mind if that happened.
Excuse me, ushers, where are my seats? Because they've just put down some metal for me to sit on.
I bought a chair. This is just a plank. And it's a metal plank, too. It's just a metal plank.
It has a number sticker on it. I don't know what that is.
Where does my seat end and this one begin is my question. Because even on Spirit Airlines, there's a divider between the seats. Help me.
Do I just put my asshole on the number and hope his is smaller than mine? What is this?
Jesus.
This is not a solution.
I could fly around the world 5 times on Spirit for this money. This is ridiculous.
With an actual seat,
with
cheap
a seat.
fucks.
Cheap sons of bitches. So
you treat college students like that. Is that right? Okay. All right.
Wow.
Well,
thanks a lot. Real nice. This
so
is no wonder why.
This is why you guys don't get a stadium, because you treat people like this. We're from out of town. We're guests.
No wonder why ASU doesn't get any fucking interest from anybody else. This place sucks. So Green Bay that year, he has a decent year, I guess. He only starts 9 games, so doesn't start them all. 39 catches, 469 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Wow. So he's, again, never very lighting the world on fire. Just very average, but he hangs in there. He does not hang on for their championship season the next year.
No, they move him, huh?
Yep, he ends up in Philly the next year. He goes to the Eagles, who are 10-6 that year. God, he's always on 10-6 teams. Always. They lost 14-0 to the Niners in the wild card round.
He knows what it's like to win.
He does. Yeah, he's won a Super Bowl, and he was a big part of it. And he was a hero, and
it's
not so much.
It's going to be depressing if he ever plays for a shitty team, because how do you play for a shit team when you're used to going 10-6 every goddamn season?
Every goddamn year. Yeah, 3-13 would be tough for him. College was his worst time. That was that wasn't great. So for Philly that year, he only plays in 5 games and starts 0, 2 receptions for 33 yards.
They don't even use him.
And he retires at the end of the season.
Yeah.
If you're a small wide receiver and you lose a half a whatever second on your 40 time, you're fucked. I mean, that's it. If you go from a 4.4 to a 4.6 and you're 5'10",
sure.
You don't really have a lot of
any bit of reaction time pulled off either, because he's been hit. Fuck, man, this is a time when the receiver got clobbered, and he played
over the middle. You got popped.
Fuck, man, and he played it in New York. He played in Miami, and those are when you're throwing there, you're throwing to risky shit.
It was. You can't compare. I hate when people compare. You see this all the time. These
their numbers and shit. Yeah.
Pages they'll compare. Well, look at and I hate Troy Aikman, by the way. Like Troy Aikman was fucking shitty. Fucking Kirk Cousins is better than Troy Aikman. It's like,
for God's sake,
calm down. When Troy Aikman threw the ball to someone over the middle, 3 guys could try to take their fucking head from their shoulders. That's why his numbers are here and this guy's are here.
Yeah. A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Kirk
that goes for
probably, only better
they do that with Elway.
Right.
It's like, are you joking? Watch a fucking game and watch what he had to do compared to now when you just throw the ball, guy's allowed to catch it and run 4 fucking steps before someone can tackle him.
And not just that, the talent of receivers has, it seems like, gone through
they're
the
bigger
fucking
now,
roof, man.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're just so good.
And good.
And John Elway, name 7 receivers that John Elway threw to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's very hard.
He didn't have great receivers.
There weren't a lot of great guys there.
No, there wasn't.
He had to do it.
They named the 3 amigos weren't even good receivers. That's because you couldn't remember any of their goddamn names. That was the point.
Yeah, it's not good. And today you've got, I could probably name 15 incredible receivers. And
tons.
That's crazy.
Damn it, that's who the Giants got in '92. It was Mark Jackson from the Broncos.
Really?
Not Mark Clayton from the Dolphins.
Okay.
Mark Jackson from
Dolphins,
the Broncos. God damn. Okay, thank you.
I didn't realize he played for New York.
Yeah, he went there. I remember him playing when he was, washed up, basically.
Yeah. Right before HBO.
And everyone went, whoa, wow, you're probably a better receiver when John Elway's throwing at you, we just realized, as opposed to fucking, Jeff Hostetler. It's a little different. So Ingram retires after 128 games in the league. He has 265 receptions for 3,926 yards, 14.8 per reception, and 26 touchdowns. That's his whole career. So
8 years or so?
8 years, yeah. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, it was 10 years. 10
years,
seasons.
but that shortened season. Okay, yeah.
10 seasons. So he retires. After retiring, he does what most people do after retirement, Jimmy. It's what our plans are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what our plans are for when we eventually retire from the podcast. We are going to move to the Bahamas to start, open, and run a shady clothing business. That's our plan, and he stole it, and I'm pissed about that. That's our exit plan. Is that what he did? That's what he did. He went to the Bahamas to run a very shady clothing business that went out of business and didn't make any money, and there was like legal clouds over it, and I don't know if he was like enslaving people to fucking force them to stitch things.
Yeah, so I guess, all right, well, Bahama Man clothing is not going to happen, huh?
Not going to happen. I hope he was making like Hawaiian shirts too down there. That's what I picture.
They all got pineapples.
That would be great. But either way, what he's not doing, we know he's making clothes, we know he's hanging out, but what he's definitely not doing is paying his child support. That's a problem.
Oh, what?
Because September 11th, 1999, he's arrested in Florida as a deadbeat dad.
That is his September 11th.
September 11th was bad for me on a couple of notes.
It was ruined for me long ago.
I got a preview of it 2 years earlier when I was arrested in Jersey City. And arraigned in Florida on a Hudson County warrant for failure to make good on $200,000 in delinquent child support payments.
Mark,
he owes a house worth of child support payments.
That's a lot. That's high child support, right?
He hasn't paid it in years.
He's never paid it.
He's never paid it. And it probably, I assume, is still based on his NFL salary. He probably hasn't gotten it adjusted. Yeah. So it's probably stacking and stacking and stacking. He probably owes,
and there's
$5,000
interest
a month or something, and interest and everything else. So this is an issue, obviously. It's a problem.
Fuck.
So much so that he's held without bail at the Broward County Jail. That you owe so much money, we're not even going to let you leave.
What are you
to
in
go
for?
Get the money?
I could go home, but I owe too much money to go home.
My kids are hungry, so I'm here.
That's what I'm here for.
There's having an extradition hearing and all that kind of shit. They said that this arrest was the first time the Hudson County Sheriff's Department ever sought to extradite a deadbeat parent from out of state. Usually that keeps you at bay. Just don't come into the state. He said, we're going to go after these out-of-state deadbeats who obviously have the means to support their children. They're saying he owes so much. They're like, this is above and beyond. This isn't, he owes $7,000 or something. This is
that's
literally a house. Yeah, he could sign over like a whole house to her, and that might cover it. So
that's a lot of people work for their whole life to earn that much money to buy a house and a car. That's so much money.
No, well, he's arrested at his house in Fort Lauderdale. They come to his house and just get him. His house that he lives in, by the way, at the time, back then, valued at $750,000.
You son of a bitch.
That's a mansion in Florida back then.
It's a crazy house.
He's living in a fucking mansion owing $200,000 sitting there. He also has...
You can't live in a $300,000, $400,000 house and pay your child support? Jesus Christ, man.
Well, he also needs a brand new 1999 Ford Expedition and a brand new 1999 BMW as well. He's got in his driveway.
Boy.
Huge house, expensive cars, flashy shit, and he's not paying his child support. Yeah.
Poor Mark, too.
He's like, do I pay? I can pay for my kids to have health care and stuff. Or that new Beamer's pretty nice.
Have you heard of the Expedition? It's the same as the Cadillac Escalade, but made by Ford.
Well, yeah, it's a little different. We're gonna do it. It shows this isn't even for Mark Ingram Jr.
This is another kid?
This is for a 6-year-old daughter who lives with her mother in Hudson County in the town of Gutenberg.
Idiot.
He was ordered to pay $750 a week, so $3,000 a month in 1999.
Whoa.
But those payments haven't been made for more than 4 years. He stopped paying when she was 2.
That's enough.
Wow. That should last. That should hold him. Okay. So November 7th, 2000, he goes on, drum roll, Jimmy, the Maury Povich Show.
Oh, wow. He wants to prove he's not the dad.
Did you pull that out? Did you know that?
I just guessed right now thinking he wants to do a father thing. Yeah.
Roll that back a second. I just said he went on, and out of everything he could have went on, I could have said a space shuttle to the moon. I could have said he went on a tirade in a public fucking in a subway.
Splash Mountain.
I could have said Splash Mountain. I could have said Sally Jesse Raphael. I could have said Ricky Lake. I could have said Jerry Springer.
You could have said Weight Watchers.
Anything.
And I said Maury Povich.
I could have said on about some bullshit. It could have been anything. Anything. Jimmie said without, I hope everybody caught that, without a fucking hesitation, he said, Maury Povich? Yeah. And then I went, yeah, Maury Povich. How'd you know that? And then he didn't go, holy fuck, how did I guess that? Of every possible thing that someone could be on. I could have said on morphine, on birth control, anything
on
in
about
the world.
some
He went
bullshit.
on about some bullshit, and you just said Maury Povich and didn't find that interesting.
Didn't even bat an eye.
You did. You kept going, and I went, "Hold on, did you say Maury Povich?" And you were like, "Yeah, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Wait a second, did you know this already?" No. How the fuck did you guess that? That was magic. Where did you get that from?
You led me down the path of not being the father.
I guess it wasn't that he wasn't the father. It was he didn't make payments. I didn't say he was swiping.
That's why he's going there? Because he didn't make payments?
Well, that's what you'd imagine. But no, it's actually, it turns out that it's not even him on the show.
Oh, what?
Okay, back it up.
What happened?
There's a man named Aaron Williams.
Uh-huh.
And apparently... Okay, there was someone, he ended up in a party where a Grammy-winning jazz singer named Diane Shore had an entourage that was with her going into the party, and he just slipped in the entourage and went into this party and acted like he was a part of it. So he introduced himself around as Mark Ingram, the wide receiver.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
He just picked Mark Ingram out of the air. I guess maybe he looks like him, or he's, I don't know, same size. 5'10". Does like a little juke move. He's like, see that? See how Mark Ingram. Yeah, look at that. See Heisman pose? He to Carl Griffin of GPA Records, okay? Griffin referred Mark Ingram, quote unquote, to friends he had on the Maury Povich show.
Oh, my God.
So the producers booked him in a show devoted to the title of Sports Groupies. So it was a show where they're going to get athletes on to talk about groupies, and groupies are going to come on and talk about why they do it. And that's the whole point.
He's going to be Mark.
He goes on the show.
Yeah.
He's on stage, this guy, Williams, chatting, talking about groupies and all this shit, doing the whole thing. During this time, a producer who just was doing their homework now, a little bit late, contacted the Giants and discovered that Ingram, this isn't Mark Ingram. They know that because they called Mark Ingram and he was at his house in Detroit. And they said, is this Mark Ingram? He goes, yeah. The wide receiver? Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, who's this? They're like, you're not on the Maury Povich show right now? He's like, what? Who says I'm the father? Fuck that.
Tell me about groupies.
Will you talk to us about groupies? Please?
Yeah.
So the spokesperson, the show spokeswoman here, Linda Littman, said, when we called Griffin to tell him, you could hear his jaw hit the ground. So that's what they said. So they were like, your guy that you referred to us is not the guy who you referred to us.
And he was on the show.
Yeah, we filmed like a whole. We had to throw the fucking show out and redo it. We filmed like half the show with this idiot talking about shit.
We had 7 fights. We're pissed at you.
He threw a chair.
We can't air of it.
Yeah, he hit a stripper in the face with a folding chair. This is for no reason now.
Can't air a second of it. You fucking jerk.
What a mess. January 26th, 2001. This is fun from the Miami Herald. Ex-Dolphin takes a new hit is the deal here.
Now he's on some bullshit.
Now he's on some bullshit. Well, what he's on is, and there's a picture of it, he's on a closed-circuit TV screen during his bond hearing is what he's on.
Oh, Jesus. For the deadbeat dad stuff.
No, this is for something else.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, no, it's all going to fall apart now. It's downhill from here. So he allegedly acquired $11,000 in counterfeit money.
Oh,
let's fuck with the Secret Service now. That's what I want to fuck with. That's who handles that.
$11,000?
$11,000 on a recent trip to New York. This is an affidavit in federal court said. Another guy, Alan Knoll, was arrested with him for grand theft auto. It told investigators that Ingram asked Knoll if he knew where the counterfeit bills could be exchanged for real currency. Where can I
know it was fake? Yeah.
Oh, he knew it was fake. Yeah. He asked Knoll if he would help in distributing the bills to department stores or banks.
Oh God, Jesus.
Yeah, go and buy a pack of gum with a 50 and get real money back here.
Yep.
Get change. They found $3,209 in counterfeit bills in Mark Ingram's pockets after they arrested him for driving a stolen Ford Expedition.
Oh, my God.
He has a Ford Expedition. Why is he driving a stolen one? I like this one better. Fuck you. I should have got it in white.
Yeah.
Yes. What the fuck here? He's awaiting a federal bond hearing for 18 counts of possession of counterfeit bills.
Yeah.
He posted his bond. So he's got bond money, but he doesn't have child support money.
Right.
They said, dressed in a gray T-shirt and blue leather jacket, a grim-faced Ingram appeared on closed-circuit television Thursday during the bond hearing. Grim. It's very grim. Grim-faced. Grim Ingram now. He said, Ingram told the judge, quote, I don't know what's going on, Your Honor. The judge was like,
you had fake money, dude. That's what's going on.
I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Ingram told his attorney, though, this is great. This is where it really gets fun. He really becomes really fun for the next hour here. He told his attorney Thursday that the Ford Expedition belonged to who? Jimmie, you should let it roll off your tongue.
Maury Povich.
Lawrence Taylor. This is LT's expedition. Which will
Well,
only get
friend
it
of mine.
searched harder at that point, I believe. Oh, fuck. Well, we got to take the wheel wells off and shit. There's got to be coke in here somewhere.
Yeah, don't say it's his, man.
Anybody else but his. And his golf clubs and other belongings belonging to LT were discovered inside the car.
So
But
did he steal from LT?
I don't know if he stole. He had played golf with Lawrence Taylor in Weston on Monday, but was borrowing the car without knowing it had been stolen, is what Ingram's attorney said. They played golf, and then he borrowed the car, but didn't know that LT reported it stolen.
Okay.
But did he know you were borrowing it? That's the question. That's whether you're stealing it or not. If someone says sure.
Yeah. Did you leave the golf course with it? Why was all his golf shit in it still?
He just took his car. They went golfing, and LT was like, I'm going to the 19th hole. I'm going to tie one on. And he was like, okay, cool. And then just took his car and drove away.
I'm going to go on home. All right, I'll see you around then.
Yeah.
I'm going to play another round. Enjoy your day.
LT's got to walk around in golf cleats for the rest of the day because his sneakers are in the back of his truck.
He walked home click-clacking, man.
Yeah. Click, 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 click. So that's what his attorney said. He didn't know that it had been. He borrowed the car without knowing it had been stolen. So according to Ingram here, LT didn't lend him the truck. The truck was stolen, and then he borrowed it after someone stole it.
Somebody had already stolen it from him. Yeah.
This is what his attorney said.
I borrowed it from the guy that stole it.
Yeah, I borrowed it from the guy that stole it from my friend who I played golf with, and I kept all of his stuff. This is why I could never be a lawyer, because a lawyer or a politician, I couldn't take one fact and go, how do I twist this to my advantage to mean the opposite of what the actual obvious truth is?
Right.
I couldn't do that.
When you know the person you're representing is wrong, how the fuck do you make them right?
That's the thing. Well, this is how you do it.
Right enough that it doesn't right enough that you can sleep at night. Like I don't know how you do it. I don't know how.
Right enough that you can at least think in your own mind that you're not the father. You know what I mean? Right enough.
Right enough to make that cash worth keeping.
So his lawyer said, quote, he was a victim of circumstance. That's how you do it.
Oh, my God.
That's how you do that. That is amazing. That's fucking awesome. He said, I can only tell you that once he calls back, we'll talk to him. I don't know why he hasn't returned calls, meaning Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
If LT would just call and say that it's cool that Mark Ingram has this, it's totally fine. So I don't even know why we're here.
Perhaps that's why he hasn't called back, because it's not fucking cool.
It's totally not cool here. How did he require, by the way, this is fucking fun, the tag on the expedition was not registered, but with the VIN number, the police identified the car as a budget rental car stolen from a Miami gas station in December 1999. Not Lawrence Taylor's Ford Expedition. No. Unless LT, which I wouldn't put it past him, but we did an episode, and I don't remember the episode where he stole a Ford Expedition from a fucking Miami gas station. I don't remember that one.
So somebody was gassing up their rental car and somebody stole it from them?
Yes, I think that's what happened.
Jesus Christ.
That's what happened. I don't know what's going on. Or LT was gassing up his shit and Mark Ingram stole it from a gas station. That's the other possible thing
and
that happened.
Sold it to a rental car company, and then somebody else stole it from them.
Then stole it from them. So, yeah, this is ridiculous. I saw a thing on patrol there like 2 months ago where a guy stole a tricycle. A grown man stole like a large tricycle. They tracked him down. The guy ran away. 2 cops chased his ass, and as they go, the tricycle was left right by the cop car. It was sitting there. By the time they got back from chasing him, they caught him. They fucking all this shit, big thing. They're all out of breath. Someone else had stolen the tricycle. He looks, he goes, where's the tricycle? And he starts asking neighbors, he goes, did you see this tricycle? And they're like, I don't know. And he smiles, and then he gets on the radio, he goes, the whole thing, the reason why we were here, the tricycle, it just got restolen again. Yeah, someone else just restole it now. So
what is this, Reno 911?
This is fucking, that's exactly what it was. I was like, this is ridiculous. They come out, the way he comes out and looks, it was 100% dangle, coming out and looking around like, oh, fuck, we left the bike sitting here. We didn't even secure it. That was dumb on our, Shit. Okay. It was fucking hilarious.
Release the drug lord back to the drug kingpin. So.
Oh, God. It's so fucking funny. I'll show it to you. It's hilarious. So, where did he get the counterfeit bills?
That's a great question.
From a sale of T-shirts from his clothing manufacturer to a Jamaican client. But his lawyer says that's where he got the bill. Some Jamaicans gave it to him. He didn't know they were fake. He made a legitimate sale of his T-shirts of his highly lucrative clothing company. They paid him in fake money, and then his friend lent him a stolen truck. This poor guy. He's a victim of circumstance.
I have no idea what's happening.
I mean, I can't imagine. Sounds either he's the unluckiest.
That's a terrible day.
Is the CIA following him around, setting him up? Either that or he's just not very honest. One of the two.
And he's really bad at crime.
Yeah, that's the thing. They said he sold T-shirts, quote, on the side. Meanwhile, what else are you doing? You're not playing football
sir.
anymore.
That's on the front. That's
You're right in the front
right
and center.
up the middle.
And they said, well, what's the name of the company that you sold the T-shirts to that gave you counterfeit money? And they said, we don't know.
They paid cash.
They don't know. They paid cash so that there's no invoice or
matter.
anything.
Yeah.
It's just, it was in a parking lot behind a pizza place. Like, who knows?
They gave me all this cash and 2 girls. I sold the girls.
I sold the girls. I kept the cash. The lawyer said, quote, he hasn't exactly told us that he had knowledge it was counterfeit. So when they asked whether Ingram had been in New York recently, his lawyer replied that his client made frequent trips there to visit family members. So they said, yeah, of course. He had a wife. They said he has a wife and 4 children up there.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Don't know who the other 2 are. We know
4
a daughter
kids.
he doesn't pay for and a
Mark
future
Ingram,
Heisman.
yeah.
And Mark Ingram II. So he said that Ingram was doing this Knoll guy a favor Tuesday afternoon by dropping him off at the 8600 block of Northwest 41st Street, where Knoll was to pick up a car left there by an employee. The car was a Dodge Durango, which had been stolen, and detectives were watching it on an anonymous tip just as Knoll walked up to it and searched for the keys inside. They're like, oh, here's an idiot. Let's do this.
Hilarious.
Once he found the keys, Knoll walked back. He took a bait car. Once he found the keys, he walked back to the Expedition, got inside, and Ingram then drove him back to the Dodge. By the way, the Expedition is stolen too. Does this seem like, are you getting it now? SUVs, both SUVs.
That's what they do. Yeah.
This is what they're doing here. Wow, that's wild. So that's what's going on for Mark Ingram.
He's transporting a guy to steal more SUVs while he is in a stolen SUV.
And he also apparently stole Lawrence Taylor's golf clubs.
Right. Does he still have those?
He still has the golf clubs. That's the other problem.
I'll bet he stole those back in New York years and years and years ago.
Years ago. Just took them out of his locker. LT was like, I probably gave them to somebody.
I don't remember where I put my clubs. I'll buy new ones.
This is hilarious. When he stopped to drop the guy back off at the stolen car, you heard that thing of golf clubs rattling in a car when you stop. Rattle against each other. You heard
good
that.
Clubs, too.
Nice
those are nice ones.
Oh, yeah. LT, I'm sure he got them for free somewhere.
Fuck yeah.
Gave them to
those
him.
are some golden bears. I guarantee it.
So he's freed on $75,000 bond. He posts a $75,000 U.S. bond on the counterfeit cash charge, but will not be allowed to travel to the Bahamas for his T-shirt business.
Okay.
He's like, I got to be able to travel there. They're like, we're not letting you out of the country, moron. No.
It's another country, sir.
No. The judge said Ingram, who was a big receiver here, he said he could go to New York on business, quote, by the most direct method, but cannot travel out of the country and must surrender his passport. This is how they describe him in this article. Ingram appeared in court with a shaved head, puffy face, short beard, gray sports T-shirt, black slacks, and handcuffs. That's a nice accessory.
Yeah, that's not good.
To face the complaint, which will be upgraded to an indictment in 3 weeks. His lawyer said Ingram will plead not guilty to the charge. He's like, I don't even know what's going on, this lawyer. This is very confusing. Yes, so that's what he just claims he got this money from another place, from this company, doesn't remember the company. He's an innocent victim of the whole thing, and LT lent him a truck, and he doesn't know anything about anything.
I'm dressed like I'm hungover on Sunday.
That's all it is. Yeah, I'm looking like I've had a real rough week here. February 15th, 2001 is the upgraded charge they're talking about now.
Yeah.
The U.S. Attorney's Office upgrades a charge. After this, he's charged with carrying that money. Like we said, he was released on bond. The U.S. Attorney Guy A. Lewis said no one is above the law. When you violate federal law, you will be held accountable for your actions.
Jesus Christ.
And the lawyer here said he didn't have any comment. So there's that. The Secret Service agent said that Ingram brought $11,000 in counterfeit bills. That's the total here. Yeah. This could carry a possible 15-year federal prison sentence.
This is a big fucking deal.
It's a bad one, yeah. They don't like it when you put fake money into the system. That could fuck everything up.
Right. $200 or $300 bills sucks, but $11,000? How do you even trace that back?
Who the hell knows? That's what I mean. That's Jesus. So March 20th, 2001 here, he is arraigned on charges that he violated his probation when he was arrested for driving a stolen SUV and possessing counterfeit money. They figured out that he was also on probation somewhere.
Jesus
Christ. Oh, you get charged that. So that's fun here. He's arrested for that, and his second arrest violated the terms of his probation, so he's taken into custody on March 9th. Very exciting here, obviously. So not only that, right below this, and this is hilarious, a high school basketball coach was charged with smoking marijuana with 4 students before a state playoff game in New Jersey.
In 1999?
99. It's like the kids they shoot the lights out when you get a couple of puffs in them. What do you want?
Look, I walked in, they were smoking, so I just said, I'll hit it too. That's it. It's not like
amazing.
I didn't bring it.
Oh, my God. Adrian Matthew, a physical education teacher who coaches the boys' varsity at Lenape High School, was arrested at his home. Here, they accused him of possessing marijuana, ecstasy, and drug paraphernalia at his home when he was arrested. They charged him with 4 counts of distributing drugs from the February 28th gathering here.
Holy shit.
And also, he's charged in another town where the school is located with 4 counts of luring or enticing children.
Yeah.
Which sounds way worse than it actually was.
Sexual intentions.
Yeah. He was smoking a joint with 17-year-olds. That is for non-sexual purposes, that all we know anyway. I don't know. Maybe he had more.
It sounds as though he's just luring them, enticing them to get high, but
to look at his dick.
Yeah, but lure and entice, those 2 words together mean entirely different things.
Yeah, they mean your dick's out.
Yeah.
They mean come into this room. Yeah, I know it's dark in here, but come in. No, reach out for the light switch. It's in a weird spot. Just reach down. It's a little bit down. There it is.
Now lift it up and put it down. Lift it up.
There you
Keep
go.
Doing that.
Keep doing that.
Keep throwing the switch, kid.
You got to warm it up first before it comes on. That's one of those lights. It's a warm-up light. It's one of those shake weights. It's like that. You got to earn it. So March 23rd, 2001, Mark Ingram plans to plead guilty in the counterfeit cash charge because he faces a longer sentence for violating probation, I guess. His lawyer says it's in his interest to take this. The working agreement is that he's going to plead guilty to possessing the $3,290 in counterfeit bills. And, hopefully that'll work. The judge offers him a 364-day jail term if he admits the violation, but he risks a 5-year sentence if he contests it. So do your year.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sentencing guidelines here call for 6 months in prison, and he said he hopes the federal sentence will run at the same time as the state term, and he can just be out in 6 months and be done with it. So he enters his guilty plea in April of 2001, and rather than stand trial, he's going to do it. The counterfeit money, by the way, was 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s.
That's crazy, man. That's too much.
So it wasn't just hundreds. A 10, no one looks twice at a 10.
Nope.
That's back in the day, the biggest counterfeiters used to do back when $2 bills were a big deal in the early 20th century. They'd make $2 bills and $5 bills. Right. That's all they'd make because that's no one ever fucking questioned them.
Right. It's so little. It's such a
20,
small
they
amount.
look at, that's a big one. 100, forget about it. Jesus Christ, that was a
50s, 100s. You're looking for the band every time.
Yeah, no shit. So they said also that he asked a bank teller. Part of the whole thing was Mark Ingram had asked a bank teller to swap $11,000 in counterfeit cash for either cash or traveler's checks. But they said no.
Right.
Because they're like, why do you want to do that? Ingram and the teller talked by phone 2 days before he was arrested in his stolen car. He's a fucking idiot. Let's just say that. He's a jackass. So July 31st, 2001, he's going to get sentenced. And you, sir, may fuck off 1 year in prison. That's what he's going to get for violating his probation. His defense lawyer said it's like a double whammy. He's been punished twice for the original offense. Under the judge, but he's doing multiple dumb things. Yeah. That's the problem. The judge, under this whole deal, Ingram will begin serving his federal sentence when his state term ends in November, and then could go free the next May. So they're consecutive, not concurrent.
Yeah.
And then he'll be on.
It's Fed time, so he's going somewhere else.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's he's got to get out of one place and go to another place, which is fucking rough here. They're still talking about Lawrence Taylor, but
oh boy, poor
we
bastard.
never really figure out if that was real or not, the Lawrence Taylor thing. So
it wasn't.
It probably wasn't.
He was breaking laws elsewhere.
All sorts of places. So he stays quiet for a couple of years, though.
Mm-hmm.
He does stay quiet. February 4th, 2007, they're in the newspaper here that the 1990 Super Bowl ring belonging to Mark Ingram sold for $20,375 last year.
That's pretty good.
He hawked his ring. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could, Giants fans, you can get some dough.
20 grand? Fuck yeah.
And he made a big play in that game. Right. So it's not just like he's like a backup fucking guard or something.
That's like getting Plaxico's ring. That's a pretty good ring.
It's not bad. Yeah. August 18th, 2007. This is taking it down to another level.
Oh,
we've gone from one thing to child support, and now he's, stolen golf clubs and fucking counterfeit cash. Let's take it down even lower.
Below counterfeit cash.
Former Eagle Ingram accused of purse theft.
Former Eagle. The Eagles get slapped with this shit.
This is the Atlantic City newspaper.
Okay, all right.
If it was in Miami, it'd be former Dolphin. In Wisconsin, it'd be former Packer.
This is very funny that he got slapped.
Former Eagle.
He was barely there.
It's in Well, it's in Philly, so they're like, ooh, what Eagles player did that? Yes, him. Accused of purse theft.
Oh my God.
This is
on the street.
Sad. He's accused of breaking into a garage and stealing a purse from a car.
Wow.
You fucking scumbag. That's just
trash.
Scum. That's absolute trash here. They
somebody parked their car at their home. He just broke in and took it.
He's like, they think they leave their purse in there.
Yeah.
He's charged with felony count of breaking and entering of a building and a misdemeanor larceny charge.
Yeah.
The purse, which contains some cash and credit cards, at least that dorm room was unlocked and open.
Right. You broke into a garage.
Oh, my God. Was stolen in December in Grand Blanc Township near Flint. He had to turn himself in and get arraigned and everything like that, and he's released on a $10,000 personal recognizance bond. So I don't know. I wouldn't trust him to do anything at this point. So they said he's got a Flint address listed for him, and he told the court he was in the process of retaining a lawyer. He faces up to 10 years in prison if he's convicted for breaking and entering, because that's big. Investigators found fingerprints at the crime scene that matched Ingram's prints. No one saw him. He didn't even wear gloves. Someone called and said someone broke in my garage. They did a crime scene investigation, pulled prints off, and got a match on this fucking idiot. And that's how he got caught. He's a fucking idiot.
Wow.
Just don't leave your house. I'm sorry. At this point, hire someone to run your T-shirt business or whatever bullshit you got going on.
Going to Robinson's May to buy merchandise. What are you going to do? Return it and then get regular money and purse snatching?
That's what you're doing. You're purse snatching now. You're trying. This is all crackhead shit that he's doing now. It's crackhead shit. It's terrible.
And he still owes money in child support, doesn't he?
I'm sure he didn't pay back $400,000 worth or whatever. He's not paying that. So. No, he's sitting there trying not to get arrested, probably. Hiding out, being embarrassed. It's all terrible. And it gets even worse when he hears a knock at the door.
Oh, no.
He's like, oh, Christ, who the hell is that now? He looks out. He's like, is it local police, FBI? He's like Henry Hill in Goodfellas. Like has a helicopters, I hear. What is that?
Who is it?
But instead of any of those people, it's someone much more interesting. It's Dexter Manley, interior designer from New York City. And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Oh, my Lord. Jesus, look at you. Purse snatching? That's
Nice.
Golf
Nice
clubs.
purse, yeah.
It's, fashionable, yes, but you took the insides of it, the cash.
Right.
That's you're white trash, sir. I'm sorry. You, sir, are white trash. I've seen it before, and I'm seeing it again right before my eyes. Look at you. Vince, he's out. Vince is out in the van. He doesn't even want to come in here. I said, oh, you can come in with me this time, Vince. And he said, no, you know how he talks. He's like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I can't do a Vince impression, but he was like, I'm not even interested because like I keep cash out in the open and like I don't trust this guy and like I like to golf also. So
I'm worth too much.
So I'm just disgusted with you. You're disgusting. You're just trash. I think you should just head down to Fort Lauderdale and just live on a beach or something because with the rest of the trash, just enjoy. I'm done with you.
Dooney and Burke.
Disgusting. Poof. And then in a cloud of feathers and boas and all sorts of shit here, he disappears and Mark Ingram is like, now, am I hallucinating now? Who the fuck was that? A cop? No, good.
Counterfeit person?
So September 20th, 2007, he's ordered to trial in the theft case.
Yeah.
Ordered to stand trial on charges he broke into a garage and stole a woman's purse.
My God.
Fucking pathetic. He's going on trial for charges of larceny of more than $1,000 and first-degree home invasion.
They have degrees of that.
That sounds bad. First-degree home invasion. To me, if you say first-degree home invasion, I'm in my living room.
Then the door was kicked in.
Watching a Disney movie with my autistic grandson, and a fucking door comes flying off the hinges while a man with a shotgun goes, on the ground, motherfuckers, and ties us all up. That's a home invasion.
Yeah, right? There is a door jam. A door jam has to be repaired after this.
I fucking deadbolt, just pow, the whole thing comes off.
There's splinters.
Absolutely. That's the only thing I can think of here. But that's what they're charging him with, which makes sense.
First-degree home invasion.
That sounds bad. September 6th, 2008, arrest warrant is issued for him again.
He's not even in jail.
This is for failing for a third time to appear in federal court for sentencing on a money laundering and bank fraud conviction.
Oh, my God.
He's not doing well, let's just say. He's on the lam, Jimmy. He's on the lam like a gangster.
Fraud.
He's a bad guy. Bad guy. District Judge Dennis Hurley issued a warrant and said it won't be enforced until September 15th, one day before Ingram's rescheduled court appearance. His attorney assured the judge that his client would surrender to the U.S. Marshals at the Long Island courthouse on the eve of his next court date.
Yeah.
He's expected to get 7.5 to 9.5 years in prison.
Whoa.
That's why he's not showing up. He's not showing up to be told to go to prison.
For a decade.
Yeah, it's a long fucking time. So his attorney said that Ingram had contacted him early Friday morning saying that his car had broken down on the Pennsylvania highway as he was driving from his home in Flint, Michigan to Long Island. I'm on the way there, and I'm just standing next to just a smoking, heaping... I could steal a car. You don't want me to do that, so it's going to be a while.
I'm on the turnpike, guys.
Holy shit. 2 previous sentencing hearings were postponed after Ingram went to emergency rooms complaining of illnesses that were later found to be non-existent.
My chest hurts. It feels like a lot of stress and
like a
lot of weight.
Yeah.
I can't breathe. Oh, it's anxiety.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is because of my behavior. I did this. I did this to me. This isn't just normal.
Oh, it's because I don't want to go to prison. That's what it is.
These are consequences? Is that what you're saying?
Jesus Christ, man. The U.S. District Attorney Dick Donahue here, he said, Mr. Ingram feels these court appearances are optional.
Yeah.
I would say so. So they said also, federal prosecutors in Fort Lauderdale in New York said Ingram cashed more than $300,000 in phony checks and laundered another $200,000. That's why he's in trouble.
Was he trying to pay his child support, or was this just for himself?
I guess this was for himself. Well, the problem is he pleaded guilty to laundering money he believed to be proceeds from narcotics deals as well as bank fraud for cashing counterfeit checks. So he was trying to clean street money is what he was trying to do. He needed a prop Joe there. That's the problem.
Or just a restaurant, man. Open a restaurant.
Yeah. Open a fucking bar like a gangster in the 70s. Get your head out of your ass. Although he pleaded guilty nearly 3 years ago, prosecutors say he'd sought to revoke the plea deal and has fired 3 previously court-appointed attorneys and personally made court filings claiming he should not be sent to prison. He's just like writing down, I should not be sent to prison.
Don't send me, please.
Don't say. He couldn't find a lawyer that would say anything but, no, you already pled. You're going to prison.
You don't understand how this works. No, I do. Give me a Post-it. I'll take care of it.
Well, that's pretty much what it is. Prosecutors recurred to a court filing from Ingram this past May as, quote, rambling, confusing, outlandish, and largely incoherent.
Oh, I want to read it so bad.
Among his contentions were that he was immune from prosecution because why, Jimmy?
Why?
He has diplomatic immunity as a head of state.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
As a head of state. He didn't even say that. He said he's the head of some country. Ingramonia. It's in Michigan somewhere.
It's just north of Flint.
What the fuck? You could drink the water in Ingramonia is the only difference. He wrote that in a court document.
Unbelievable.
That he should be immune because he has diplomatic immunity as the head of state. As a head of state.
Not the.
From somewhere. You got to lend me the same courtesy you'd lend, say, the Prime Minister of Belgium. Just, it's all the same, right?
Whoever that may be.
I don't even know if they have a prime minister in Belgium. They might have a president or a king, or I have no fucking
We know
clue,
as much as he knows.
It's the problem. Holy shit. So September 21st, 2008, they finally get him into court here. The head of state and all. He had to really put the affairs of state on the shelf for a minute.
The head and ass of state are
in. It's all here. All parts of the state here. He was sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off 7 years in prison.
Federal
prison.
Oh,
it's
boy.
The third term behind bars here. He is ordered in Long Island federal court to pay $252,000 in restitution.
That man played in the Super Bowl.
Wow. Holy shit. He's free on $200,000 bail until December 5th when he has to turn himself in. So he said that his criminal record since he's had the one he's had since 96, since his retirement, is, quote, not who I am.
No.
It's exactly the only thing you've done, though.
Yeah, but I'm the head of state. A head of state.
I'm the head of, head of some Bahamian island. There's a small one out there, and I'm the head of it. He said, it hurts me to my core. I've made mistakes. Yes, he does.
You have.
Yep, his sentencing was delayed as he tried to, like I said, revoke all that shit and enjoying diplomatic immunity as a head of state. He said he counsels troubled youths. He volunteers with various charities and understands that his football feats make him a role model. And the judge actually noted the dedication and commitment Ingram showed on the football field, but also his criminal record, which includes 7 previous convictions and goes back 23 years. This is just who you are.
Yeah, and also, deadbeat dad. Don't give me this, I'm a role model. You got kids, and you're not even role models to them.
You're a fucking, you don't even buy them food.
You're not even a dad. Fuck a role model.
You're not even a dad. The judge said, he is, like many of us, multifaceted. That's one way to put it.
He fucks up in a lot of ways.
Jesus, 92 months in prison and up to 5 years probation, too, after that.
Oh, my God, that's a lot.
Which is crazy shit. So December 11th, 2008, he's on the lam. He's not turning himself in to go to prison. He fucking took off. He's on the lam.
Yeah, he's fast. He runs a 4.35.
December 5th, he's supposed to turn himself in. December 11th, fucking gone. There we go. He's somewhere here. Arrest warrant issued for him after he failed to report to federal prison to begin serving his nearly 8 years.
Oh, Jesus.
For his bullshit. He was ordered to surrender in Ashland, Kentucky last Friday, but he just didn't show up.
Ouch.
He just never showed up. That's amazing. It's fucking hilarious. A spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office, where he was prosecuted, says a warrant was issued for him, and he's still on the lam, so we'll find him.
Does John Walsh find him?
He should. It's going to be better him than Chris Hansen, I suppose.
Yeah. Of all
Who'd you rather have find you? John Walsh means you're going to jail, but Chris Hansen's much worse.
I think I'd rather be called a scumbag than be a scumbag.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's one thing. So he sought to remain free until after the college football season so he could watch his son's freshman season as a running back at the University of Alabama. That's what he was trying to do.
Why do you want to watch that? You haven't contributed to this.
Nope. January 4th, 2009, he's finally captured. Not turned himself in, captured.
Captured. Where did they catch him?
Captured. He's arrested in Michigan. After nearly a month on the fucking lam here, or more than a month on the lam. Yeah. They tracked the retired wide receiver to a hotel room in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, boy.
Let's replace that H with an M probably in this situation.
Yeah, it's single.
After a manhunt that began when he failed to turn up for federal prison turning himself in, the hotel wasn't far from his home, by the way. Because he's a fucking moron.
Yeah. And he's staying in the motel because he doesn't want to be caught, right? So wow. So he's maintaining the home.
Nearby.
Why would you maintain the home? Just abandon it.
Fucking idiot, man. He wanted to. Wow. The arrest came just before the start of his son's biggest game, which was the Sugar Bowl matchup. He was trying to stay free till the end of that, he said. Marshals had been looking for him in New Orleans where the game was played. That's where they were looking for him. Yeah. They thought he'd be down there, but no, he was in a fucking motel room.
He was going to watch it at B-Dubs.
That's all. Jesus. So January 11th, 2009. This is perfect for our show. The Daily News, New York Daily News, huge headline, big letters, a giant fall from grace.
There you go.
Exactly. That's how we said.
Yeah.
Perfect. Quote, the money launderer and the drug lord shared a table in the Fort Lauderdale restaurant, sizing each other up as they were sitting down. The hulking Cuban-American dealer was built like an NFL lineman, 6'4", 350 pounds. He wore a silk shirt and plenty of bling. He was actually an undercover FBI agent. His guest, 6 inches shorter, 150 pounds lighter, exuded the easy charm of a con man. He was actually the former NFL player drafted number 1 by the Giants. Back in 91, he was the David Tyree of his time. Giants always have some receiver saving their ass.
They do. That fucks up.
Yeah. By the time of 2001 sit-down, Ingram was working from a different playbook, about to start a long losing streak. Whiteout is behind bars for the third time in 8 years, busted January 2nd in an $89 a night Michigan motel room.
Oh, boy.
Mark.
What does that place look like?
Oh, you know what it looks like because we used to stay at shitholes like that.
Just like the Motel 8?
Just like the Vagabond.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
A very old set of furniture in there. Good Lord.
They say the preacher's son, I guess his dad was a preacher too, the preacher's son was sitting on his bed watching TV in his underwear just before he was cuffed and led away. He said he had hoped to watch his son play for Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
In his underwear?
In his underwear. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
It's probably hot in there, bad air conditioning.
In his underwear.
That's Michigan in the winter. Never mind.
Yeah.
So they said arrest was not in his game plan. That's the head of the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force. Yeah. They said the undercover work of Jack Garcia led to Ingram's latest conviction and saw hard times ahead for Ingram during their meetings. Quote, he didn't walk around with the confidence of, hey, I'm a pro athlete, is what Garcia said. He walked around with the confidence of, I'm a thief, a crook, and a criminal.
I'm good at this. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm a hustler. Fuck being an athlete. He didn't care. And they said he really was. They said he was doing drug shit. Yeah. So they said he obviously needed it, even though his money had clearly run out. Garcia said this guy had his hand in everything. Another undercover bought stolen cars from him. Yep.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
He was walking around with counterfeit money. He talked about organized crime connections.
Oh, boy.
Jesus fucking Christ. He also boasted of regular golf dates with O.J. Simpson, which is hilarious. Yeah, he hangs out with O.J.
What year is this?
This is 2005.
Wow.
No, this is 2000. What fucking year is this? How did I lose that? 2009. 2009, not 5.
Okay. How long's O.J. been out?
Since 96.
Oh, and then he went for the Heisman stuff in Vegas.
One, yeah.
That was later though, huh?
Yeah, that was later. So yeah, he's been hanging out with them. He's also been hanging out with LT and everything like that. They said he couldn't get out of his own way. He was once cited for failing to pay child support and was jailed twice, once for theft and once for counterfeiting. Ingram, once cheered by 78,000 fans in Giant Stadium, pleading guilty to a near-empty Long Island courtroom. I just like that line.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that's funny. He took off. He went on the fucking lam. They said Garcia owns a memento of his days chasing Ingram. He bought a signed photo of the receiver making his Super Bowl catch. To Garcia, oh, no, he didn't write it to that. He said, to Garcia, it symbolizes opportunity lost. You talk about crashing and burning. This guy gives it a whole new meaning.
Oh, he really fumbled it.
The perfect crime and sports candidate. Yeah. Fumbling all over the place.
Unbelievable.
February 27th, 2009. He's in federal prison. What could he do wrong now?
What'd he do?
He faces new charges in New York now.
Is he running a drug empire behind bars?
New charges. He's facing a bail jumping charge at this point from before, saying he failed to report to federal prison in December, so he's going to get extra time for that. He pleaded not guilty to that charge somehow.
How do you...
Were you there when you said you were going to be? No?
No, well, but I was in my underwear watching the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. You can stop after no. That'll do. It's kind of either you pass or fail here. It's
right, but the Sugar Bowl.
But the Sugar Bowl was on. March 29th, 2009, pleads guilty to bail jumping now in federal court. And as a part of his plea deal here, I guess he's going to serve another 21 to 27 months in prison.
Almost 2 more years.
Another
2 or more.
They just for a month on the lam. Wow, I hope that month was good for you. Holy shit. He still says, I just wanted to watch my kid play football.
He still missed the game, right?
I missed the game. December 12th, 2009, by the way, Mark Ingram Jr. won the Heisman Trophy.
He did?
And he's just embarrassed horribly by his father's name at this point. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, asshole. Rather than standing next to me, putting your arm around me, going, it's been a long road and all this, you're sitting in federal prison, you dumb fuck.
Well done, dickhead.
Oh, my God. So that's what he did. And he was apologetic, though. They said that when he turned himself in and all that. That's very sad for poor young Mark Ingram here. I feel bad for that kid, honestly.
Sure,
that's
man.
Shitty.
He's got to go through the rest of his life with that shit on his back.
Well, yeah, his father said that, or Ingram Jr. said this, my father has been a great influence on my life, and I love him to death. That's what he said when he received the Heisman.
Wow.
He had no comment following his father's sentencing.
Oh.
He said, I'll just talk about Heisman stuff. Let's just do that. So he is stuck here. Draft day 2011, Mark Ingram Jr. receives an emotional message from his jailed father.
What?
That's fucking amazing. Senior is in jail, and during the draft here, by the way, Mark Ingram Jr. is drafted by the New Orleans Saints in the first round, pick number 28, exactly the same as his father.
Wild.
They were both picked in round 1, pick 28.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
What are the fucking odds of that? That's so weird. So his dad obviously
25 years apart? His dad was drafted in 87?
His dad was drafted in 87 and to 2011. Yeah, so 24 years apart.
24 years, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. He sent us a message to his son that had him in tears.
Oh, what'd he say?
They said he was drafted just in tears there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What
he
a
said,
big day.
quote, son, hold on. What am I doing here?
How dare he?
How dare us not make this in their own words.
He is his son, but come on,
Let's do it
man.
right. Let's do it right. In their own words, quote, son, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you for being a great person and accomplishing your dream of being drafted and having the opportunity to play professional football. You've made me a proud father. I'm so proud of the young man you've become. I want to tell... Oh, yeah, that's it there. Sorry, that's it. And then his son burst into tears. Well, somebody shanked him with a fucking broken off piece of metal they got from under their bunk, and it kind of took them out of frame.
He didn't even get a chance to say, tomorrow when you get paid, can you put 20 on my JPay?
Yeah, can you please hit my commissary up? Because I need honey buns. He didn't say any of that shit. His son said this. Here's Mark Ingram Jr. Quote, this is hilarious.
Oh, boy.
I want to tell my dad that I love him and I miss you, dog. You called your imprisoned father dog, first of all. Can't do that.
I miss you, dog.
Miss you, dog. This isn't your homie at all. This is your dad.
When was the last time he saw him? You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Well, he says, you've been a positive
When was the last time you
influence
were
in my...
at a game, in the stands? When did you buy a pretzel last?
When were you free to do that without being sought by federal marshals?
Holy
He said, you've
shit.
been a positive influence in my entire life, so I just want to say thank you and let you know that I love you, man. We did it. Dog.
Yeah.
Bro.
Big ups.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
So, April 30th, 2011, he's still a fantastic dad, according to this fluff piece there. Mark Ingram Jr. says that he grew up with a lot of emotion, but he loves his dad.
Okay.
Shonda Ingram said, quote, he has 3 sisters and I have 2 sisters, so he grew up with a lot of emotion. In our home, we just like to show. We like to show love and we show our feelings. We always let him know it was okay to show your feelings. That doesn't show whether you're a man or not. Everybody can cry. It's good to cry. His dad probably cries quite a bit.
Every day.
I would imagine here. Ingram said, quote, he coached me in everything.
Uh-oh.
He taught me how to wrap my body in phone books to protect against getting stabbed in the yard, which is pretty fun.
He told me Robinson's May doesn't look very hard at 20s.
He said it's totally cool. He helped out in football practice and in track every step of the way throughout every phase of my life. He's been there and been a positive influence on me. He's been in and out of prison for the last 10 years.
Right.
That's impossible. That's my dad, but he's also my best friend.
Well, that's not good.
Wow. And Shonda said that no matter what Mark's legal troubles, he's always had time to reach out to his son. Shonda said they have a great relationship. Even though his dad is not available to him every day, he talks to him often, and he is a big part of our lives. He calls and we talk about things. He knows what's going on. He's always been a great, wonderful father and has had a big impact on Mark's life. How do you think? Do you think that's what she says when there's no cameras around?
Fuck no.
That deadbeat.
That motherfucker owes me so much money.
Scumbag, lying, conning, thieving, fucking cheating,
making
Lawrence
me
Taylor
driving,
stealing, pussy ass motherfucker. He stole my purse.
You know how many times I drove a kid to practice because this motherfucker didn't have a car or wasn't around?
Well, I feel bad. You've just won the Heisman, and this is what the questions are like.
Yeah.
So did your imprisoned scumbag father help you much? Like, that kind of sucks, right?
Obviously not.
No, clearly not. I feel bad for Shonda still having to talk positive shit about her ex-husband. I feel bad for people who lock their purses and cars in their own garages.
Yeah.
I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad.
Dear God, there's so many.
As I feel for Mark Ingram, co-founder and producing director of the Chicago Jazz Philharmonic.
Really?
Which is certainly not what,
It's
what
not
this
him,
guy would do. Mark Ingram, head of global real estate at Gensler in Los Angeles, California. He went to Pepperdine.
What the hell is Gensler?
Some company. I don't know. Mark Ingram, director of advanced DRAM engineering at Micron Technology in Boise.
That's a smart man.
That's not our guy.
No.
Our guy would be figuring out how he could sell this shit for counterfeit dollars.
How to steal that.
And Mark Ingram, associate vice president and director of athletics at the University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Do not give that man a checkbook.
Holy shit, that poor bastard. Also, Mark Ingram, senior government and corporate strategist and co-founder of World Ranked Innovation.
That's probably him.
In Ohio.
That sounds like him.
He went to the U.S., he was in the U.S. Air Force and went to the Harvard Kennedy School.
What is it? Wow. That's
business.
a smart guy.
Yeah, I think he's done a lot of he's got his whole resume here.
Yeah.
He's done quite a lot of shit.
His title sounds like straight up bullshit, and whatever he's doing sounds like fake shit.
In the Air Force, he was Directed Energy Weapons Experimentation Campaign Lead.
Oh, I'm frightened by
That's
this man.
terrifying. Hey, listen, we're not saying anything bad about you. This guy
Enjoy
can
whatever-
vaporize our houses
Yeah,
from
enjoy
above.
whatever-
I'm not.
Enjoy whatever weapon you're in charge of, man.
I'm
It sounds
sorry.
fucking dangerous.
If I hear a drone, I'm running from now on because I. Just
You
fucked
won't
up
hear
like
it.
Whatever
Whatever one
in the
he's
middle
in
of the night.
control of, you won't hear shit.
People drive by the next day. Wasn't there a house there?
Yeah, it's gonna be end of Sopranos for you. Just dark.
Done. Fuck yeah. Jesus Christ. Is
My
he dead
God.
or not? You know.
You know what happened.
December 28th, 2014, a Sports Illustrated article on Mark Ingram II here. And they're talking about how Junior was 10 years old. He remembers being 10 years old when the FBI agents began banging on the door.
Holy shit. Best friend?
Yep, that best friend. Big Mark, because that's what they all called him.
Yeah.
Big Mark wasn't home, but the agents rummaged through the drawers and cabinets and under beds. Little Mark and his mother, Shonda, were told not to move, not to turn around and watch.
We're looking for Bestie.
Yeah, well, all sorts of shit. Where's your boy? Where's dog at? Where's your dog? He said, "You okay?" Shonda asked in a whisper, and little Mark's response was, "I'm okay if you're okay."
Uh-huh.
A few days later is when he was charged with 2 counts of automobile theft and federal counterfeiting.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. And then they picked up the story, and they said that Shonda was worried about the shame and embarrassment and how it would affect her son. She said she had to keep him home she wanted to keep him home from school. So nobody knew. What they said, he grabbed his backpack and headed off to the 5th grade. That's right, God damn it.
It's better than wherever my dad is. I'll be all right.
Yeah. He said, my dad always asked me to not let it all affect me and to be the man of the house. I wasn't going to let him down.
Jesus.
With his father in prison, Mark and his 3 younger sisters, Maya, Mia, and Malia. Oh boy. It's all M's here. Wow. They said that, he felt like he had to raise, help be a dad figure too, and all that kind of shit. This is fucking wild, man. This poor guy. They said the family once had money, and they went from that to little Mark receiving free lunches at school.
Yeah.
He had money always, so.
Yeah, and then it went away because Dad threw it all away.
Yeah, he said the dad who had taken him to play golf and all that kind of shit was now gone.
Uh-huh.
And they said that Shonda said, even for a kid like Mark, who always had a good head on his shoulders, so much changes when a parent goes to prison. You're talking about the whole structure.
Yeah.
And also, little Mark learned about the criminal justice system. It learned what solitary confinement was. Shit like that.
Based on where his dad was.
Yeah. One time he went to visit his dad in a facility in Beaumont, Texas, and they turned him away when he arrived because he had shorts on. You have to wear long pants.
Really?
Yeah. So he didn't have pants with him, and he was there. So he walked around the parking lot asking other visitors, including a couple of women, if he could buy their pants from them. The guards finally said, "Fuck it," and let him in because they're like, "It's whatever." Just
the kids.
He's trying.
The kid's trying to buy pants in the parking lot, you guys.
We can either arrest him for whatever he's doing out there, or let him. Either way, he's coming into jail. So let's just let him in. We don't have to feed him if we let him in to just see his dad, right? Let's just do that.
Just send him back out.
We don't have to put him up at that point here. They said, though, he's been unwaveringly loyal, writing letters to his dad, calling him, emails. And they said, "Are you mad at your dad? Are you upset at your dad?" And he said, "No, upset for him, but not at him. He's my dad, Upset for him. He's what Crime and Sports, why we did this show. Guys like this, just complete scumbags.
Done nothing positive, man.
That is ridiculous. He said in football it was actually easier because he had a few teammates who had parents in prison at times. So he said that was actually helpful for him there. Ingram said it's not the kind of thing you talk about, but a lot of us went through this. So, he said, yeah, what the fuck? They're talking about Big Mark's prison term is ending soon. His release date isn't until November 2015, but he told his children he'll be out in late February. So, yeah, they said they've been trying to have more contacts with him, but he had exhausted his monthly allotment of phone minutes, and so he couldn't get in there. Little Mark wants to be clear on this point. He said he is excited for his dad to get out. He said, when you have parents that are gone, you want them back more than anything.
Sure.
He said he wants his dad to see him play in the NFL. He also said he wants him to, he's never visited the home his son rents in New Orleans or his big house in South Florida and all that kind of shit. So he's like, I want my dad to see what I've done and see what I've become.
Yeah.
Shonda said there's this readjustment period where it's going to where it's like getting to know the person all over again. To be honest, yeah, I think my son Mark is apprehensive about that. Because he said he's a little worried. He said that my dad has always asked me to not let it all affect me and to be the man, and I'm still not going to let him down. So there we go. He's ready to go, do his thing. Early 2015, he is released from prison.
Okay.
And Mark Jr. leads a shopping spree for children who have a parent in jail.
Is that right?
That's an interesting case. Is your dad locked up? Nah, I haven't seen him in like 10 years. Well, fuck that. Call me back when he's locked up. A weird thing. So Ingram said it made me sad, so he thought it would make other kids sad.
Yeah.
So it's a $100 per child holiday shopping spree put on by his Mark Ingram Foundation, which is committed to helping underprivileged children across the U.S. and those especially challenged by the absence of an incarcerated parent.
How many kids does he take? $100 a kid? That goes fast.
Among the kids in here, among the people he took Thomas Morstead, Justin Drescher, Craig Robertson, Senio Calamete, Von Bell, Brandon Cooks, Cam Jordan, Roman Harper, Marcus Murphy, Kobe Fleener, and Taryn Armstead. Yeah, they're all helping. So you got to give them credit for doing something fucking decent. We're making fun of athletes for doing shitty things on this show, so if they do something nice, you got to say that too.
$100 per kid, and that many athletes, there better be like fucking 1,000 kids, right?
Yeah, because there's like a foundation there, all that kind of shit. So he says this is Mark Ingram talking to the kids. He said, I'm here to let you know you can accomplish anything you set out to do. The statistics are astronomical. If you have one or two parents in jail, you're at least 50% more likely to end up in jail. That's the main objective here, to bring some love and joy to them and their families during the holidays. It's very important to me.
Sure.
Or if you are a world-class athlete and can win the Heisman Trophy, then it's a little different for you, but that's not you. So finally here in May 9th, 2018, Mark Ingram Jr. is suspended by the league for violation of the performance-enhancing drugs policy.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Here, the league says that he'll be eligible to participate in all off-season and preseason practices and games and will be eligible to play in the first regular season game next year. They haven't commented on his suspension. This was the last year he rushed for a career-high 1,124 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, May 14th, 2018, Mark Ingram Sr. fucked again here. Could be headed back to federal prison after police found about 100 marijuana plants and a handgun inside his condo.
Oh, you can't have a gun and that, man.
No, you can't have all that. And this was 2018 before weed was legal in New York, too.
And 100 of them is a lot.
100 looks like that's not for yourself.
That's a jungle, man.
That's, you're selling. Christ. That's an operation to grow and sell. So he was on federally supervised release before this for similar actions, which isn't great. Police were called to a home he was renting at 114 Riverview Boulevard on May 25th, 2017, and the landlord-tenant dispute occurred. It's a landlord called the cops on him.
The landlord said, the house I rent to this man smells a lot like weed.
I can smell it from fucking Staten Island, so we got a problem because we're nowhere near Staten Island.
100 plants smells so bad.
That's a lot. The landlord-tenant dispute occurred and a marijuana grow operation was discovered on the property, says the Flushing police. They also found a loaded handgun in the closet of the master bedroom, hidden between two sweatshirts, which is a violation of his probation. Also found a bullet on the television stand, which is a whole separate thing. His department said they had to send the gun and ammunition for forensic analysis. That's why it took a year for the violation report to be filed in federal court.
Wow.
The court file shows DNA analysis were conducted on the firearm and magazine. He was not arrested at the time because he had a valid Michigan medical marijuana card.
Oh.
So they said, we thought we'd write it up and turn it over to the prosecutor and let them deal with it.
Right.
So they alleged that he violated his supervised release by possessing the firearm and ammunition and not paying his $500 per month restitution since July 2016 and not notifying his probation officer about a change in address. Almost like he wants to go back to prison, is what it sounds like.
He's done nothing that they told him to do.
Wow. He had a violation hearing. A judge could modify the conditions of his release, terminate his supervised release before his original release date, or revoke his supervised release and send him back to prison. He can do anything he wants, this judge, really. So this is a fucking problem. April 7th, 2020, he's been sentenced to 21 months in federal prison. So he gets sentenced back to 21 months in prison for having the gun and the weed. So now he's in prison. It's April 2020, which not a time you want to be in jail.
Not a good time. No.
Not a good time. He says now that he should be released from his federal prison sentence during the coronavirus outbreak. And what is the reason for it, Jimmie?
I don't know. Why?
He has brain damage. That's why. Brain damage. It's dementia.
Damage, yeah.
I got dementia.
Uh-huh.
Yep. He says that absolutely he's serving a sentence for violating his supervised release stemming from all that.
Yeah.
And he said, please, I'm all fucked up. The prosecutors are fighting it, though. They cited Ingram's long criminal record as a reason to keep him behind bars and said his alleged dementia does not leave him more susceptible to COVID, which is what he was saying.
Oh, he's saying my brain's damaged, therefore I can get sicker faster.
It's sick. I'm going to be all I won't even know it. I won't even remember I'm sick.
I won't even recognize it.
They said Ingram might be granted home confinement under the new legislation and Attorney General's directive, which is for vulnerable inmates to be released during COVID in this time. Then again, he might not. But either way, he should not be permitted to push his way into the queue past other inmates who are less dangerous and more vulnerable than him. Yeah, I would say so. He's been a problem all the time.
Yeah.
U.S. Attorney filed a motion to move him urging the denial to move him to home confinement and saying that, again, he shouldn't be able to cut in line and he's not eligible for compassionate release. He knows he's not fucking walking into walls not knowing where his name is.
He thinks he's one of the fucking Manson girls, like he's got cancer and he's going to die next week?
That's next week. It's ready to go.
All right.
He said he's like Jimmy Carter right now. Yeah. That's what he is. He's just barely holding on.
Just teetering.
He's like 102. We're waiting for it any day. His current prison sentence stems from his second failure on supervised release, is what the prosecutor said. So it's questionable whether Ingram would cease engaging in serious criminal conduct.
Right.
That's kind of all he's ever done, unless he was playing football.
That's how he makes his money.
Yeah, they said, given Ingram's record, it's also highly questionable that he'd be able to abide by terms of home confinement, much less adhere to the CDC's social distancing protocols and the governor's stay-at-home order. Time and time again, Ingram has been unwilling to follow even far more basic societal norms, such as don't deal drugs and don't commit fraud.
That's a very funny speech.
Don't steal purses out of ladies' garages. That's pretty basic. You learn that when you're fucking 10.
You want him to wear a mask and remain 6 feet away from people? He can't even not do drugs and deal drugs.
He can't even not sell drugs or use real money.
He can't even not grow 100 weed plants.
Yeah, 100. He said, why would anyone think that he would follow these protocols or anything like that? They said because Ingram would be unlikely to take these directives seriously, he'd also be far more likely than other members of the public to contract COVID-19 and perhaps more likely than he would be in prison and would be more likely to spread it to other people.
True. Yeah.
No matter where he goes, he's going to be a menace is what they're saying. Don't
give him the chance.
He's been diagnosed with dementia, or CTE, actually, more accurately. But they said the disease can only be determined following an autopsy. So that's what they think is it, but they don't know. They said that his memory loss has worsened in the last year, his neurologist wrote. His neurologist said he may drive, but his wife does not let him. Ingram cannot recall where he's supposed to go.
Uh-oh.
So the doctor continues, he can dress himself, but needs to be reminded to shower and brush his teeth. He can't be left by himself or under supervision except by his wife or close friends. Gets very angry easily and can be set off by anything, complains of headaches.
Yeah.
And during the exam, the neurologist said that Ingram started crying when discussing his personal care and functional abilities. He said Ingram is at risk for possibly fatal outcomes that could be better treated if he was granted home confinement. Remember on The Sopranos when Junior did this and he was sitting in the judge's chamber in a wheelchair with an oxygen mask? I don't know where I'm going. I'm too sick and all this shit. It's basically what he's doing here.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like. They said this court should consider the total harm and benefits to prisoner and society that continued imprisonment will yield relative to the heightened health risks posed to Mr. Ingram during this rapidly encroaching pandemic. Okay, April 16th, 2020, Mark Ingram to be released to home confinement.
Really?
Yep, it's approved that he goes home. He has 10 months remaining on his 21-month sentence for violating supervised release, for bank fraud and all that kind of shit. So they filed a motion, and they're going to do it. There we go. They said he's got dementia. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Right.
So 2021 NFL season, Week 10, Mark Ingram Jr. became the New Orleans Saints' all-time rushing leader.
That's right.
Or rushing yards leader. Yep, against the Titans, surpassing who, Jimmy?
Who? And the Saints?
Deuce McAllister.
Oh, Deuce, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, he's one of those you forget about, too. July 26, 2023, just teeming with dementia.
Oh, really?
Obviously. No, I don't think so, because instead he is doing, he's training kids in a football camp. So
really?
He seems to be able to remember to show up and know how to run drills there.
Football?
Yep. The McGonigal Elementary School, Our Building, McGonigal News, Mark Ingram Sr. comes to summer camp. We are honored to have the first-round NFL selection and talented wide receiver Mark Ingram Sr. share his expertise with our young athletes. He's going to show them how to make a 20 look real. That's what he's going to show them.
Show them hydroponics.
Yeah, it's a better way to do this, kids. Mark's journey has been truly inspiring. Really?
Really?
I have not been inspired by one fucking thing that's happened here.
No.
It's inspired me to have less faith in people this whole episode.
It's inspired me to think less of even his son.
Just for not saying what a piece of shit. Your dedication and achievements inspire our young athletes as they continue to chase their dreams. And there's all sorts of look at this. Here's all sorts of pictures riddled with dementia. Check them out.
Oh, he's doing great. He's standing, walking, running, posing. He's doing great.
Smiling, talking to kids, hand on shoulders. Kids are smiling.
No
they're not
problems.
they're not like this crazy motherfucker who can't remember my name. They look like, hey.
Doesn't look like he's been set off today.
No, not at all. His net worth, which is not true at all here, from, I love these stupid things.
It's whatever his son gives him, whatever his allowance is.
They say he has a net worth of $4 million, which...
What?
No, he has... How much of it is in counterfeit Monopoly money? Like, what are we talking about here?
How much of it is rainbow-colored?
Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin's.
It has a cartoon character's face on it. This is ridiculous. So I don't think he has any money, unless his son gave him $4 million.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Can't get enough, Mark Ingram?
Oh,
well... You can get an autographed, signed 8x10 photo of him that I'm going to 100% buy and
How
put
much
up here
is
in
it?
the studio. $19 or best offer.
I can give you a better offer. $12.
That's great.
$12.
And he's on the Giants, running with the ball. Number 82, a nice autograph there. Or if you really can't get enough Mark Ingram, you can book him. And I don't mean in jail. You can book him to come wherever the fuck you are.
How
and
much?
He'll start yapping.
Yeah.
Here we go. Mark Ingram, this is one of those fucking sites. Book Mark Ingram for your next event. He is available for corporate appearances, speaking engagements, meet and greets, endorsements, and virtual events.
Oh, wow.
He must be just chock full of dementia, apparently.
Virtual, too.
Virtual speaking engagements. Meet and greets.
He can't. He doesn't know where he is.
Travel available on request and fee range. Please contact. He's not going to put that out.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Depends.
This shit's going to be
what
under
do you
the table.
got?
Yeah, I'm not paying taxes for this shit. What are you
no
kidding me?
way. No.
So, it's athlete speakers you can contact to find. Anybody wants to find out, it's 800-916-6008 is their phone number. Or you can go online, but their phone number was sitting right in front of me.
Junior's made enough money to really fix that man's life, though.
He could definitely help him some, I would say, but who knows if he wants to.
He's got to have some sort of business set up so that he can pay his father, you know what I mean?
A dividend or something. Pay my father. He's my head of corporate, whatever the fuck.
He's the head of state.
He works for my foundation and does the whatever.
Yeah, he's the head of state.
He's the head of state. He has diplomatic immunity.
of the Mark Ingram Foundation.
Holy shit. Mark Ingramland, head of state right here. And that, everybody, is Mark Ingram.
My God, man.
He's a disaster, right? That's a lot.
Who knew?
That's what I mean.
His son playing for the Saints, he's so good.
So good. Was a great running back. Terrific running back.
Did he retire by now? Is it over?
I think so. It was 2011 he was drafted.
But he got in trouble for weed when? Yeah, he definitely
he got in trouble for steroids, for PED.
It was steroids?
It was performance-enhancing drugs he got in trouble for. So I don't know if it's steroids, HGH, whatever, some kind of banned substance.
The man made $32 million, for Christ's sake.
Hopefully he can help his dad out a little bit here. So there you go. That's Mark Ingram. If you like the show, tell the world.
Tell everybody.
It.
Yeah.
Get on whatever app you're on. Give us 5 stars. Spread it on social media. Share the show. Comment on it. Do all that fun stuff and keep hanging out with us because we are having a good time. Follow on social media at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook. At whatever it is, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Do that. Listen to Small Town Murder while you're at it. And then also listen to your stupid opinions while you're at it too, because holy shit, is that fucking funny?
Yeah.
Find out what a fuck Uzi is this week, and
it's an 8-piece.
and hear a cut song from the movie Aladdin.
Unbelievable.
That didn't make the final cut. It's pretty amazing. So check all that out and hang out with us there. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get a couple hundred back episodes to get to binge on immediately, and then new episodes every other week. One Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder, and you, my friends, get it all. This week, what we're going to do for Crime and Sports, we're going to, back by popular demand, one of our favorites, personal ads.
Hell yeah.
Find out when you couldn't meet anybody, and the only way to do it was through a newspaper.
And then wait.
And then wait for a response in a voicemail box or a letter through the mail. Crazy times
for pussy.
Holy shit, for anything. So we'll talk all about that. We'll have a bunch of funny personal ads from back in the day from newspapers. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about some very weird brothers named the Collier brothers in New York City. Basically, they holed up in their house. They were giant guys that hoarded stuff in there and didn't come out for years, and one of them died, and they kept him in the house for years, and they had to like cut a wall out to take him out. It was fucking insane, and the amount of hoarding that was going on in that house was wild. It's a crazy story and very interesting.
Yeah.
We'll talk all about it. It's just too interesting there. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Also, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you go for the website. All your merchandise and tickets for live shows and all that kind of shit. That said, Jimmie, please give me the names of the most fantastic people who support this show and keep it going. Hit me with them right fucking now.
This week's executive producer is Sharon Jones. Happy birthday, Sharon.
Happy birthday.
Kyle Norwig, and I believe he's over in England. He's going to watch the virtual show where you can buy tickets February 22nd.
Virtual shows.
Then Cody Garchetta at mugsandmore.shop. Evidently, he's giving 30% off to people with promo code TURKEYS. Our turkeys get 30% off of
Excellent.
mugs and more at mugsandmore.shop.
Terrific.
Big ad. All right.
Wow.
Other
Jesus
producers
Christ.
this week are Peyton.
Hope he put in more than the 5 on that one.
He sure did.
He stretched his fucking 5 otherwise.
You son of a bitch, Cody. That's a very cheap way to go get advertisement. It's genius on your part, Cody Garchetta.
That's why we did it.
Other producers this week, Peyton Meadows, Diana in Maine, Janice Hill, Trey Volkanar, Stephanie Addis, Dalton Johnson, 31, Maura with no last name, Marika Izor, Alyssa Marika. All right, Allison Enos, Brooke Andress, Jesus, Serena. That's a fascinating way to spell Serena, Sarinah. That's got to be Serena, right?
Yeah, I've seen it, but not with the H. That's new.
That is interesting. All right, Becky Smith, Wendell Whitmore, Samantha Brown, Nikki Holler, Adina Smith, Catherine Lowe, Kaylee Moore, Hannah Rebecca, Samantha Breach, Rock Langston, Sherry Cooper, Courtney Belenji, Kenneth Dialus, Justin with no last name, Samuel Wanow, the Kim Reaper, Amon with no last name, Eamon maybe, EJ Hansen, Michael Hilton, Anthony Yasso, Marky Wynn, T.S. Irish 2, Leo with no last name, name. Michael Sweetman the second. Enrique Bush. Megan with no last name. Cryptid Zeph. Ingrid Carey. Molly O'Hara. Kiana Butler. It's Kiana. All right. Clint Salisbury. Drew Desson. Maggie Byers. Amaryllis May. Alyssa with no last name. Casey Ryan. Armando Martinez. Ricky with no last name. Matt N. John Ramirez. Marty DeLellis. Allie Darling, Susan Alonje, maybe Aaron Pittman, Jelen would know, Jelen? What is that? Jelen? Is it Jelen?
Just Jelen.
Is it Jelen? Janelle Checky, Lenata Larson, Emma with no last name, Anne-Marie Watson, Leanne Stavrakos. I don't know.
Stavrakos.
Yeah.
Is it a Greek name?
It's yes.
Yeah.
Larissa Yarmolich.
Add that to the list. Italians, Eastern Europeans. We'll add the Greeks to the list of names Jimmy can't pronounce.
If he wasn't on fucking Full House, I wouldn't know how to say his name. Kathleen Reeves, Jess Bromley, Andrew Payton, Brad Webbs, Carrie with no last name, JD with no last name, Tina Fabi, maybe, Zach with no last name, Amelia Bennett, Sheena DeStefano, Kimberly Kuhn, Alyssa Atchison, Jason Runick, Lori Moore, Rylan Sisk, Valerie Reed, Annette Mora, Lisa Hensley, Joseph Kucinich, Mary Friesen, Coda King, Jason Marin, Joey with no last name, Julie Armstrong, Musty with no last name, Stephanie Scutagaza, Salem, Sulam Lopez, Andrea Baker, Sifia, Psy FYI, I don't know what that is, Bryce with no last name, Lauren McDermott, Geroid O'Connor.
They have discount mugs. Sorry, talked over that last name. You want to say that again?
And more, Jay.
And more. Sorry. Couldn't help it.
Geroid O'Connor, Leah Goltz, Bolatino.
Johnny Fellatio, Connie Cunnilingus. We got all sorts of people. We're just making shit up now.
Blowjob Barnes, Bolatino? What is that? Bellatio Barnes. Jennifer Bloom, Julie Devitt Goforth, Gina Everett, Delilah Jenkins, Harold Jewison. All right. John Rose, Alec with no last name, Rachel Eckhoff, Donald J. Plant, Alyssa Hernandez, Joel Ball, Laura Colebrook, Gregory Bradshaw, Grand Mimi, Faith Crizzle, Mary Bailey, Amanda Lambert Alloway, Helen Thiel, Peter M. Janey, Gresham, Stasia with no last name, Emily Garr, Pat Walter, Anna Santini, Josh Rokasek. All right. Josh Warner, Scott Warner, that's what it is. Elizabeth West, Robin Hallmunt, Ashley Rowe, Jason Kuhn, Frantic, and Frowsy. Alexi, those are probably dogs or something, right? Alexi with no last name. Nana with no last name. Jessica Parker, but not that one. Emmy Manasek, Marinsik, Sean Lankus, Payne with no last name, Rachel DeVoe, Caitlin Barber, Vicky Wilkerson, Coffee Shakes, Celia, Denna Poe, Tyler Barton, Lydia Y, E with no last name. Just this show brought to you by the letter E. Rachel Rittman, Emma Salisbury, Thomas Stone Street, Moss Shuttner, Ryan Luchme Persad, Ross Tomlinson, Scott Brady, Trisha Mitzel. Yeah, Teresa Moore, that's a name. Dana Santos, Paige with no last name. James Nilsson, Cadence Blackledge, Scott Erickson, Jamie Barnes, Brian with no last name. Daniel Rios, Kristen Burden, Zachary Crows. All right, Colton Hug, Brandy Slaughter, Alicia Knowltner, swim everybody. Aaron Teets, Megan Crozier, Celeste Dufour, jump. Sarah Morris. list that's going over. DB with no last name. Kevin with no last name. Kelly with no last name. Bunny with no last name. G-Ma with no last name. Aiden with no last name. We're almost out of lifeboats. Jordan Dietrich, Chelsea Tanner, Josh Weintraub, Nicole Gray, Dr. Jiz Cummington. We're all going down with the ship. TJ Williams, Julia Bulik, Head 100 CHO Snap. I don't know what any of that means. Sam R. Simone, that's the name of this ship. It'll be on the side of it at the bottom. Simone Stratton, Brennan Sharp, Alexandra Zoft. Yeah, no, it's Zot. Oh, like those fucking, remember those Zots, those candies? Those were rad with the fizz inside. I hope Alexandra's got that money. Mark Connor, Todd Mavreles, Elizabeth Fight, Timothy Rogers, Amina Ziegler, Leon Spinks' massive hog. I imagine it was. Blanche with no.
We talked about it. Lady was afraid of it.
Oh, that's right. Susan Anderson, LaCarl Blom, Johnny Helmers, Amanda Wheeler, Wendy Vanderberg, Brighton Hayes, and fucking every one of our patrons. You're amazing.
Thank you, everybody, you wonderful, goddamn amazing, magnificent bastards. We can't do it without you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you want to follow us on social media, very easy to do. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. There's links to all that shit. Keep coming back. We got more assholes lined up for you now till the end of time, till people stop being assholes, which could be never. So, yeah, it's got them all lined up for you. Pick one. They say pick one. We say you can have them all. That's the difference. Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.